to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. 125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and you get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at Sori@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how I'm Ben.
I'm Sori.
If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the filthy capitalist option. As Sori says, $125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. $125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and you get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at itsori@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Yep. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is a community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
They do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go in the village, facebook.com/Ben and Sori. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch.
Buy our merch indeed. And a child shall lead them to buy our merch. Yes, dear listener. Yes, dear listener. Yes, dear listener. I will carry it all. We're looking at a little dark and shit. It's okay. Don't worry about it. It'll get fixed soon. And we're a little bit loud.
How is
Be
everybody?
gone, Satan. Shaitan.
How is everybody tonight?
What are y'all doing today? I know what you guys are doing today. You guys are here to listen to Leprous. Leprous by the big homie Wackator. This is probably one of the more interesting ways in our variegated ways of getting your songs reviewed. The big homie Wackator basically hung out on Patreon for, I don't know, how long was it?
Actually, just a couple months because he bumped up to a higher tier.
Yeah.
So he was collecting 2 songs per month.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool. Hey, BC, or hello, Jason Henderson. Good to see you.
Here you go. And
all right, so you can just go to YouTube Studio and upload it. All right, guys. So we are doing Leprous, the name of the band. So he hung out for a couple of months. On what tier was he on?
He was on the 150 tier. So that collects 2 songs per month.
Yeah, so he just stacked up 2 songs per month, and then at the end of it, he's like, all right, I want an entire album review. And here we are. So,
so that's what we're doing here tonight, you guys. I am about to add this really cool thumbnail.
We are about to cover an entire record. Well, I thought it was BC. I don't know if it was BC or not. We'll see. So we're going to cover this entire record, y'all, from start to finish. And we got a little bit of an introduction to read to you beautiful people, and then we're going to get right into it. This should be a very interesting... We haven't done an album review in when was the last time
It's been a
we've done
little
an
bit
album
of time. It's been a little bit of time, but we're back now. And we're about to do it. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, the various ways people find to make shit happen is always so fascinating to me. Shout out to y'all. For real. I mean that. I think that it's legit. It's legit a fascinating thing. It's like, how do these people have these ideas?
Ideas. Okay. All right. Thumbnail is now up. And let's go to the intros. Okay, so we have, as Vincent said, the Wackator is up tonight. We're doing Leprous, the entire album. The name of the album is actually, it's something about a poppy seed. Hold on, let me see. Well, Leprous, this is what he says. Let me get the timestamp for song 1.
What do you mean timestamp for song 1?
because I'm reading the intro for.
Oh, you're gonna read the intro. Okay,
Yep.
gotcha.
So I'm gonna take that timestamp.
12 minutes and 10 seconds.
Okay. So he says Leprous is a Norwegian progressive metal band. I would compare them to an Opeth and Muse. Tall Poppy Syndrome is the debut album released in 2009, recorded and mixed at Black Lounge Studio, and mastered at West Side by Alan Duchess. Personnel, you know what? Can you read these names? You're better at these names than I am.
Would be Einar Solberg, lead vocals. Keyboards are Tor Oddman Sork. Guitars and vocals are Øystein Landsverk. Guitars and vocals will be Halvor Strand, and bass guitar would be Tobias Ons Andersen on drums. I either rocked that or butchered that. Nobody knows except for Norwegian people and the big homie Wacky Tor.
So let's let it be what it is. Okay, I sent you the lyrics for this, and we're gonna start at 00 on the album and go up to 8:31.
Ben says, "Sorry, you should know how to pronounce these names. You watch more than a couple series of Vikings." Agree. I don't know. I didn't know that you were even around during that period, Ben. So that's a little bit terrifying that you know that.
Yeah, but you know how it is. I don't focus on names, so you know.
Yeah.
What can I say? What can I say? All right, so let's check this out. So the first song on the list is "Passing."
Passing is song numero uno.
And according to our DJ, this is not a concept album. Hey, is it still buzzing for you?
Not a concept record.
Yeah.
Correct.
Is yours buzzing?
Mine is not buzzing. Is yours?
Yes, it is. What's going on here?
Too bad, too sad.
Ready to go. Not biz
Why does
buzzing
it
now.
Why does it always sound like somebody's getting harmed over there?
Directing my lifeline. Let's see now who will bow. All those who speak without a face, now you will remember my song before I was here, but not anymore. I might be pale, but I never felt as strong. No way of sharing the pain that I feel, disguising my plans to betray. No way of sharing the pain that I feel, disguising my plans to betray. Tonight I'm passing away. My soul will be free.
song is Passing. That's the first song on the album.
Is that the first song on the first record? Because if it is, that's pretty crazy. Do you have the remote TV?
Wow.
Maybe?
Yeah.
That was pretty freaking. First of all, am I right in this that it was a little bit off tempo vocally? Like the vocals didn't match the tempo, like perfectly, which I'm assuming he did that on purposely.
Purposefully.
Yeah, like I was like, I keep missing it. I keep missing the flow. Yeah, that was interesting. And then like, see, there's a couple things on this thing where the song or wherever he was going completely caught me off guard.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was right. They had some odd time signatures on there, which is beautiful, which is what you want. It's what you want to happen at times. Like you want odd time signatures. But yeah, it was throwing me off a little bit. And then it got conventional a little bit in the solo, so that there was kind of both. There was kind of
I wish I could hear that.
Yay and an well.
Because you know, like I'm always clapping off beat and all of that.
Yeah, I think you could hear it instinctively. Like you know what I'm saying? Like if I played it again, you'd see that like, okay, something is a little bit off here. But sometimes bands, like when they're experimenting, they want to do that because like if you get stuck in a 4/4, they're like, okay, we'll do something different to, you know, account for it, that type of thing.
I mean, I thought, well, if that's how it was, that's even more brilliant.
What do you mean?
Just given what the topic of the song was.
What do you think the top of the song was about?
I mean, I thought he was feeling, you know, not good, obviously, and that he was thinking of ending his life.
Yeah, I mean...
So it kind of, like having the on-beat, off-beat thing kind of makes sense. Because
Agreed.
you'll have, you know how you see those posts on Facebook or whatever, and it will be like, this is the day before the person, you know, committed suicide. You're like, they're happy, you had no idea, like it wasn't like you saw it coming. So some people, it's like that, like it's not that obvious, and they're looking okay, and then all of a sudden they're gone. And so there's like the on-beat, off-beat, because they were actually off-beat internally, but out, you know, externally they looked on-beat.
Yeah, he says, no way of sharing the pain that I feel, which is a very interesting thing for, where are you going? Which is a very interesting thing for a rock star to say, because it seems like that's kind of your job, is to share the pain that you feel.
Yeah.
But I was just listening to Propaganda, actually. He's one of my favorite rappers, but he's kind of underground because he's a Christian rapper, but he's not like a normal good Christian rapper.
What does that mean, good?
Well, I mean, he doesn't rap about like the normal stuff that you're supposed to rap about as a Christian. Oh, I'm struggling with my sin. I hate myself. Blah.
Okay.
Like he doesn't give theology lessons in his raps.
Okay.
You know, it's sometimes like you can see clearly like, okay, I know, you know he's talking about God, but other times you really can't tell he's talking about God. But anyway, he had a YouTube, well, not a YouTube short. It was a Facebook type of thing where he was talking about, he was hanging out with his therapist, and his therapist said that artists do not, how do we put it? They're not good at being vulnerable. They're good at communicating information. And I was like,
that's interesting.
That is a very fascinating way to look at it. And so it's like, you would assume like, well, I mean, dude, you're a rock star. You're writing this. You sound like you're in a lot of pain. I could tell you're in a lot of pain. But the depth of what he's actually going through, I think he feels alone in that. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I wake to bleed another day, dragging my anvil of pain, betrayed, abandoned, rejected by life. Mm-hmm. How does somebody get betrayed and abandoned by life? Like that's a pretty crazy statement to make, in my opinion.
That's interesting, because I had separated it. I separated it to be he was betrayed and he was abandoned, and on top of that, he's been rejected by life.
Oh, okay. So, well, same question. How does
somebody get rejected
how does
by
life reject a person?
I think it's my guess is that it's the simple way maybe that other people's lives can be perceived, or maybe really are, and yours is not like that. Like, life itself has rejected you, and so the only thing that you eat, sleep, and breathe is death. And it's sort of...
Yeah, but when you say life itself has rejected you, life is a state of being.
Well,
Maybe I'm over-literalizing it. I must be over-literalizing it.
Yeah, I definitely think it's poetic. When I'm hearing it, I'm hearing like, he goes outside, he can't feel the air, he can't, experience the outdoors, the life of the outdoors, because he's so, like, like when you're in such a dark place and you almost can't experience life. So when he says rejected by life, that's just what I think, that every aspect of his being, he cannot find that reprieve, he can't find that rest, and he can't experience the life and the light that comes from that experience. My torment has branded its stain. At ease to leave this forsaken earth, my soul is awaiting my cry, directing my lifeline away from the path. Soon is the moment I die. When he said, no way of sharing the pain that I feel, then he said, disguising my plans to betray. Fire waiting, my soul will be free. It's crazy because he was talking earlier about betrayal, which is part of what got him to the point where he was at. Mm-hmm. But then he says that he's disguising his plans, and I'm assuming his betrayal is that he's going to kill himself. And I don't know if he's looking at the betrayal to his friends, his family, when people say, no, I'm good, I'm fine, but they're really not good or fine, but they just don't really know how to express that, or...
I mean, when people are done, they're done.
Yeah.
And they don't want people,
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's interesting, because he says, fire awaiting, my soul will be free. And I'm assuming the fire awaiting has to do with the Catholic understanding of suicide, which is, suicide is a mortal sin. So if you die with a mortal sin on your account, you go to hell. You don't go to purgatory. You definitely don't go to heaven. Mm-hmm. You go straight to hell, and it's pretty much over for you. So it's an interesting thing for him to say his soul will be free. But right before that, he says that the flames are awaiting him.
Yeah.
That's a crazy kind of, and I think that, like, that's belief and unbelief at the same time. Like, this is what I was raised in, or this is what people say. I don't really think that that's true. I think my soul will be free, but I don't really know if my soul will be free, because everybody's saying that you go to hell. So you're kind of stuck between both both sides of that. Mm-hmm. How to live and how to bow. The lesson one must learn. Do you have bow there in your lyrics too?
Yeah. How to live and how to bow.
The lesson one must learn. Distinguish myself from your misery. Let's see now who will burn. Yeah. So Wakitor was saying, sometimes it's the people around them that the artist is talking about, not necessarily themselves. So this is really interesting, because it looks like there's a person that's being introduced here when he says, distinguish myself from your misery. Let's see who now will burn. All those who speak without a face, now you'll remember my song. Before I was there, but not anymore. I might be pale, but I've never felt as strong.
Oh, man. Okay.
What?
Nothing. That was just a hard part to hear. That, all those who speak without a face, what did you get from that?
I think he's talking about us. Like, he's talking about the people, like, listening to his music. Like, because this is his legacy as a musician. Yeah. And so he's saying, all those who speak without a face, now you'll remember my song. Or maybe it was people that were talking shit about him behind his back. Right? So those would be people that are speaking without a face. Yep. Because they're not saying it to his face. Mm-hmm. right?
That's funny because when I read it, I took that as that line was separated from the "Now You'll Remember My Song." I took that as all
Ben Webb in the
I
house.
don't believe it.
Oh,
He's here.
My God.
Every time he says, "Oh, Ben is here," I'm like, "Webb." And it's
Ben
we
Webb.
enjoy you, Ben Bear. We're glad you're here, but Ben Webb, wow, what a showing, what a night.
Stay with us, Ben.
The perfect night for you to show up on.
Existential crises and shit, Ben. Yeah, like.
So
go ahead. What were you saying about?
When I read that part, all those who speak without a face, it made me think of the thoughts or. Well, I don't really actually believe that they're just thoughts. To be honest with you, I believe that other beings, supernatural beings, if you want to call it that, angels, demons, whatever, can almost not literally like necessarily materialize, but like it's a voice that you hear that can be so like, you know, when you hear people have these experiences with like other beings, they'll say like, I heard it speaking to me, but it said no words. Yeah, so it's like a telepathic sort of situation. And so when it said all those who speak without a face, I thought it was those voices that wouldn't stop, which is a lot of times part of people's unrest or feelings of exhaustion, is that like those voices don't take a rest and they just keep going. So when he said all those who speak without a face, he said, let's see now who will burn, all those who speak without a face. I thought that was also his way of silencing those voices, was to end his own life. But then he says, now you'll remember my song. To me, that was, you know how they'll say like, okay, you know, Joe Schmo, you saw him on your Facebook, you know, scrolling by, you didn't really have any interest in reading what he had to say, or, you know, there's a girl that's always you know, she's talking, you're not really paying attention or whatever, but then the person dies and then everybody's like, what was their final post? What was their, you know, like everybody's interested in who they were after they're gone. Sometimes more so than when they're alive. And so that, like, now you'll remember my song before I was air, but not anymore. And then obviously like the last, you know, I used to work in the medical field, as a CNA. And one of the times they sent me to another unit where I was like on suicide watch with people. And it is, when I read that line, I might be pale, but I've never felt as strong. Obviously, when you think of pale, it's weakness. It's people have, you know, their loss of blood or loss of strength is making them pale. But he's saying, I never felt as strong. And it sounds like, I don't know if he already had done something that was draining away his blood as part of the passing. And then he's saying that he never felt so strong because his resolve to go through with this, like, there's like a line, and when you see somebody cross over that line, it's like they're good. Like, they're strong in their decision. I don't know if people stay like that until the bitter end. Like, I always think, you know, because I have heard stories of people who tried to end their own lives, and then like as like that like moment when they were like slipping away, they got this panic, like, what am I doing? Where am I even headed? Like, you know, that whole like, am I gonna burn? Am I not gonna burn? Like, what if on this earth you have your body, soul, and your spirit, and you feel you're tormented in all of those areas, but when you die, there's like another category, and now whatever torment you had here is so small in comparison to the torment that you have there. Like, all these thoughts, and then some of those people ended up, you know, when you hear their story, obviously it's because somebody found them, got them help, and then they pulled out of it, and they were able to say, hey, when I got close to that level, I was regretting the crossover. But yeah, like seeing somebody in that place is.
Amy says, I would say life gives you false promises, hopes, and takes it all just when you're about to reach what you thought you wanted.
Wow.
Okay, so that's how life can abandon you or reject you or whatever. Yeah, no. That's real.
Yeah.
You know, I spent like years being like, oh man, if I had this, and but it's one of those things where it's like you would not have it. You know what I'm saying? Like it fucks you up for sure, but you would not have it. But yeah, like that's the irony of life, is it kind of does that to you. Yeah, no, I could definitely see that interpretation. But like, this is a crazy way to start a record, man. Like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna die. Like, I was like, holy shit, dude. I was not prepared. I was not prepared. But I guess kind of that's the point. So according to the Bible, suicide is an unforgivable sin and automatic trip to hell. I generally never talk about the eternal ramifications of suicide on the channel, because to me, there's no good way to answer that question. If I say, no, that's not true, then I'm afraid that somebody's going to be like, great, that's all I needed. You know what I'm saying? If I say, yes, that is true, then I'm pretty sure in our community, we've all lost people in that kind of situation. And then it's like, oh no, Aunt Susie's in hell, or my mom is in hell, or whatever. So I generally try not to answer that question. So I'm not going to answer that question. What I will say is that in Roman Catholicism, I'm not a Catholic, I'm a Protestant. In Roman Catholicism, suicide is an unforgivable sin, and you will end up in hell. And, you know, I mean, these guys are from Sweden. They're Norwegian. No, they're from Norway. So they're post-Christian. So they had Christianity in previous generations, but they've moved on beyond that. But the stale kind of air still has that. So they would know that understanding of the afterlife. So in the world of this guy, it looks like that's what he's talking about. But Dwayne, you have my number, so I will talk to you offline about that, the answer to that question, or what I believe the answer to the question is. It's not like I'm the Pope. I'm just some kid. What do I know? See what I'm saying? But yeah. So hit me up after, Ben, and we'll talk about it. I generally never try to talk about that shit online, bro. What was the biggest thing that... It was interesting because he said that he's pale, but he never felt better. And it was interesting because I was listening to this near-death experience of this guy who... He had some chronic stomach illness or something like that. And the doctors were like, okay, you got 3 hours. If we don't get this thing out of you by 3 hours, you're donezo. So they convinced him. He went to the hospital, and then they forgot about him. So homeboy's sitting there wasted away in agony, right? And he's like, I was in so much pain or whatever, and it sucked. And then he said, all of a sudden I felt really good. And he got up, and of course he goes to talk to his wife, and his wife doesn't respond to him. And the experience actually wasn't good for him. He ended up in hell. So that was a little bit, disconcerting, but almost everybody in a near-death experience says that the moment they died, all their pain got released and they felt exhilarated, they felt happy, all that type of shit. So when he said, I'm stronger than I ever was, that's really interesting.
Wait, you said when they die?
Yeah, the moment they die.
Yeah, I didn't take that as his moment of death, though. I took that as his decision and resolve that he wasn't going to turn off the path of suicide. Like,
yeah, I literalized it because he said, now that I'm pale, or something like that. So, yeah, I mean, Ben says that this band had the greatest 5-album run in probably the last decade. And that's big praise from Ben Webb.
It was Ben Webb that said it.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Yeah. Tall poppy syndrome is a term for famous people who spend their time promoting their own success like an absolute asshole. People that huff their own, yeah. Which is interesting because that will also kill you. Like, too much self-promotion, too much self-focus will also kill you. So that's really, really interesting. Because it kind of turns you inward and turns you into I don't think that narcissists enjoy life. And that was one of the things where I was, there's this famous lady on YouTube, and she always talks about narcissism. So now all of a sudden everybody's a narcissist expert. But she said that, was a disease. And then within the psychological community, they're like, is it a disease or is it a syndrome? So syndrome is like you have this collection of symptoms and things like that, but they're not necessarily a disease. And the reason is because one group of the psychologists were saying, these people fuck everybody else up, but they're not fucked up over their narcissism, right? Like, if you're depressed, right? Like, yeah, you have a negative effect around it, but you're suffering depression. If you're bipolar, you're suffering. Hell, if you have alcoholism, you're suffering. But you got a whole cadre of psychologists going, the narcissist is not suffering. Everybody else around him is suffering. So don't call it a disease or whatever. Don't put it in the category of depression. Put it as a syndrome. And now all of us have to suffer because of this person's, whatever. And you had another group of narcissists and psychologists, because they were debating how to talk about it in the DSM-5. And I have now come to the conclusion that no, I think it's still a disease, because I think that yes, narcissists make everybody around them miserable, but I've never seen them happy either. Like, I've seen the veneer of happiness or whatever, or they know how to turn it on, but I don't think that they're like really very, very happy people. So, Nathan in the house, Gabe in the house. Okay. Wacky Tour, tell me your score for this song. This has got to be, especially considering it's a 9, it's an introductory song. Like, this is how you came into the world. This is the first song for the first record. I'm going to have to give this joy a 9.6, a real strong opening. And I don't know if it sets the tone for the whole record, because we're going to have to see. And the other thing is, I don't know if it sets a whole tone for the record, because these guys are all over the place with their time signatures, even in this one song. I'm
going to go with an 8.2 for song 1. This one was I definitely think it was bold. It was a hard listen.
Yeah, you seemed really affected by the
topic,
song.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, guys, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be back for song number 2. Song number 2. Shout out to Ben. Shout out to Wackator, of course. Wackator gave it an 8 out of 10. Shout out to Ben Beer. We're coming right back. Vin out.
Sori out.
Gone. Commercial. I'm Vin.
I'm sorry.
If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the filthy capitalist option. As Sori says, 125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. 125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and you get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at insori@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Yep. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
Rubbish. That's British for garbage.
My favorite is the community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
They do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go in the village, facebook.com/Vin and Sori. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy merch.
Did it, y'all shall lead them.
To buy our merch.
Yes, dear listener. Yes, dear listener. Yes, dear listener.
Leprous.
I got that.
Full album tonight.
Full album review, dear listener.
Song 2.
Number 2. Big homie Wackator came up with an ingenious way to get an album review done, I must say. Okay, song number 2. What do you got? What do you
The name
got?
of the song is Phantom Pain, and there is no description.
Interesting.
Just
Phantom
play
Pain.
it and let me know what the timestamp is. 47:40. Okay. All right. Yes, Phantom Pain. Let's go.
Phantom Pain is the name of
We're
this
starting
song.
at 8:32 and going to 15:22.
Yeah, we got to stop with these commercials because then it rewinds the thing all the way. And
Yeah, let's just do it without commercials. That's fine.
I just had it.
Okay, so
All right,
8:32.
guys. So this is Leprous. They're a band from, what did you say, Norway?
I thought so.
They're Norwegian.
Yeah, it's a Norwegian progressive metal band.
They're progressive? Mm-hmm. Are you sure?
That's what he says.
Huh. Oh, no.
Keeping absence of truth, my smile within this all alone. Trust in me like I trust in this news. You will never find out why. Leading from this picture of you, hide from this unpleasant. I'd give you the ashes. Only I could find one reason to trust in you. Let me go now. Let go of my hand. Find your own place. I found my promised Let me go now. Let go of my hand. Find your own place. I found my promised
The hell is that? What is that?
this light, you go blind. I have seen the face of he who lurks behind. Bury yourself. It's on your back to pay all the way down. The silver's back to you, game. Bury yourself. It's on your back to pay all the way down. The silver's back to you, game. Bury yourself. Raise on your pain. All the way down. The silver's back to you, game.
I love that keyboard, bruh! Jazzy. Some Archero shit.
Wow, what an interesting compilation of sound. Like,
Well, yeah.
the last song, which I had forgot to comment on it, they had like this little sound that sounded like boop, boop, boop. I don't even know how to describe it, but it was a sound that I haven't
Careful,
heard
Ben.
before.
Ben will have some horrible thing to say about you.
Oh no!
Like he had about me. I was asking a simple question, Benjamin.
You attacked us. But in this one, they had that sound that was like, it
Yeah,
sort
the
of
synth.
reminded.
That one, the
I
weird
guess.
sound.
Yeah, it was definitely a weird song, something that we don't usually hear, but I liked it. And then they did. Remember how they used to have like quartets where the people would, sing together?
Yeah.
They did a little bit of that in there, and then the way that they ended the song, like sonically, it was interesting, like what it was. Wow.
What do you mean by that?
Is such a weird screen.
What do you mean it was interesting the way that it was?
It was just interesting because, like sometimes progressive stuff feels like you just took all the most pointless stuff and threw it into one song.
Well,
But this is like, what were you gonna say?
yeah, this is Dream Theater. I'm gonna play a 18-minute solo. Weird. Hey, I went to Juilliard. Can't you see that? Like the pretentious stuff that I don't even. Go ahead.
But I didn't feel like it was pretentious the way that they did it. I liked it.
That's
like,
what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Dream Theater is a pretentious band. Go ahead.
the way that they kind of brought it all together, and obviously, like even the lyrics themselves, I thought they took a little bit of a turn, but then I felt like by the end I understood what the song was about.
What do you think it was about?
Well, it kind of sounds like one person betrayed another person, and he's just saying like, give me something. Then he says, trust me like I trust this noose. You will never find out why fire bleeding from this picture of you. And okay, so he said, you will never find out why fire bleeding from this picture of you. I took that as, because in the end, we just keep hearing about this phantom pain and like, oh, sink if you will. I'll never comprehend. I'll never come to your defense. Bury yourself inside your phantom pain all the way down. See how much pity you'll gain. fight your shadow. So it kind of sounds like the one person doesn't fight their shadow. They love their self-pity, and it's like they're sinking inside of it. Like, instead of realizing the betrayal at the beginning, instead of realizing that, they go into, and they like kind of like turn into their own pain, which is actually phantom pain, because I took it as they were the ones that were creating the situation. And then he says, fight your shadow. In this light, you'll go blind, which I thought was a little interesting, because fight your shadow is the term people usually use to, like, your dark side, your shadow self, like, fight that. But then he says, in this light, you'll go blind. The only way that you can have a shadow is if you have light to begin with. And so I don't know if the light is, like, when the person gets close to fighting their shadow self, like, they get blinded by whatever the light is that's casting the shadow, or if he's saying he has that light. I'm not really sure. And then he says, I have seen the face of he who lurks behind.
I mean, I don't know necessarily that you have to. What did you say? If you have a shadow part, that means you have a light part too?
Well, I'm saying the only way that you can have a shadow is if you have a light that can cast. Like, the shadow self, I don't think needs a light, but I do think the recognition of the shadow self requires a light.
Yeah, in this light you'll go blind, because I think he's saying, like, the person doesn't want to, like, look at themselves. But it's interesting because, like, he's saying he's still on the I'm going to kill myself trip, because he says, I trust you like I trust in this noose. And then in the second verse, he says, I'd give you the ashes if only I could find one reason to trust in you. So it looks like
he'd still be willing to work it out if they could.
Well, no, he's saying I'd give you the ashes. So he's basically saying I wouldn't even trust you with my ashes after I die.
Oh my gosh! Okay.
Right, because he's talking about a noose up top right here, and now he's saying I'd give you the ashes if only I could find a way to trust you. That's a pretty crazy. And it's
crazy, because I took it as he was saying, I'm going to stay and keep trying to work this out, even to the point of, like, turning to death and ash myself. And so he's saying, I'm willing to give this, but give me something, when he said, if only I could find one reason to trust in you. So it seemed like he was saying, just give me one reason and I'll you know.
I don't know. I don't think so. Because those letters usually start off like, keep an absence of me or whatever. And he's saying, keep an absence of truth. This person's not being truthful with him. My smile within this. I listened to something from, it was a UFC guy. And it resonated so much with me as to, like, why I love war or combat or whatever. And he said, when I'm in the ring, me and the person across from me have an agreement. I know exactly what his designs are for me. He wants to hurt me, right? He says, everything is simple. He wants to hurt me. I want to hurt him. We have a mutual understanding. He said, life gets difficult for me when I get outside of the ring, because then you got people who will smile in your face, but they want to hurt you. You see what I'm saying? And I was like, damn, you need therapy. But I was like, yo, that resonated so much with me. And so he's saying, like, my smile within this hollow, trust in me like I trust this news. You'll never find out why. And I think that you'll never find out why has to do with the fact that it's like, dude, you're never ever going to find out, because you are so wrapped up in yourself that you would never know why. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's almost impossible for, like, a narcissist to, like, completely understand how the other person is doing, because everything just goes back to them all the time. Mm-hmm. And so, like, at the end, he's like, fight your shadow. It's a really fucked up thing to do, because he's basically saying, I'm going to kill myself now, leave me alone, and you suck as a person, and there's probably no redemption for you. Because look what he says. He says, let me go now, let go of my hand, find your own place, I found my promised land.
What? Oh.
I'm good. Stop trying to save my life. which is usually the reaction that people have when somebody close to them or around them wants to hurt themselves or whatever.
Wow. Oh.
Yeah, it's a pretty crazy thing to say. And then he's basically saying, man, go die. You don't really have any pain. He's saying, bury yourself inside your phantom pain. You don't really, it's not real. You know, phantom pain is pain, you know, it's, you know, like fibromyalgia, that type of shit. Which, that's controversial. Like, there's a whole school of thought that believes fibromyalgia is like a real, actual issue. And then there's another school of thought that says, no, that's just a psychosomatic symptom of somebody who needs antipsychotics. Like, that's kind of the whatever.
I've always thought it was the result of ongoing stress and how it, like, there's not, you know, like how it affects the body, because they don't, like, when stress affects your body, they don't necessarily, it's a little bit subjective. It's not like a broken arm. So if you're stressed out and it's you know, your body's not releasing the toxins like it should and all of that, like your joints can start hurting, like, so that's what I assumed. It was really more as a result of, you know, holding on to stuff.
Psychosomatic symptom of, yeah.
No, I'm saying I really think there is pain. Are you saying, oh, every time you say this, I always say this exact thing. Never mind.
A psychosomatic symptom is a psychological issue that then has manifestation in the body.
Yeah, I agree with that.
It's not like you can give them a muscle relaxer or something like that, because that's not where the origin of the pain is actually located. It's the idea. But they feel it on their whole body, and it's almost incapacitating for them. You know, it's tough. Like, I don't know. You know, like how could a person know that? I don't know. Because it's a chicken or the egg thing. Like, if you're in a situation where you're in excruciating bodily pain, then you're gonna be depressed, and it does drive you crazy. And I remember when I was a kid, I used to get these horrible migraines, and if I still had them, like, it would drive me absolutely fucking crazy. So it's like, you know, like, how could you tell, you know, which is which? And I don't think those guys are ever really going to get an answer, because it's like, I could definitely see, because, like, I've known people that have had that affliction, and it's like, there are definitely other, like, comorbidities along with that. But at the same time, it's like, well, how would you feel if you were, especially with that particular ailment, people don't believe that it's real. There's a lot of people that don't believe fibromyalgia is real. So that shit is, I don't know. It's tough. But I've never heard a song like this. Sink if you will, I'll never comprehend. Sink if you will, I'll never come to your defense. Now listen, this could be the other person. This could be two people fighting. So the first person's talking about, I've got my noose, I'm going to kill myself, right? Like the first, especially the first three verses. And then the response is, oh, you want to do that? You want to go jump off a bridge? Go do it then. Sink if you will, I'll never comprehend. And if you go up here, he says, trust me like I trust this news, you will never find out why.
I don't understand that trust me like I trust this news. Trust him how?
He's saying he doesn't trust him at all. Like, he can't trust him in life at all. So he's saying because I can't trust you, you're an untrustworthy person. I think he's blaming him for what he's about to do, or blaming her. I don't know why I keep thinking it's two dudes fighting each other. Blaming this other person for what he's about to do. But if you notice, he says he makes an allusion to suicide, and then he says, "You'll never find out why."
Yeah.
And then you go down here, and the person responds by saying, "Sink if you will, I'll never comprehend."
Yep.
Right? So I think it's two people
that's
talking.
interesting.
It's two people talking, and sink here would be, you know, death by noose, and you'll never find out why would be I'll never comprehend. You see what I'm saying? The parallelism there.
Yeah.
Sink if you will, I won't come to your defense because you told me to let your hand go. You told me to let you go, so I'm going to let you go. I don't care. That's crazy to me. Like, I've never heard a song like that before in my life. That's a pretty crazy thing to say. And I don't know if, like, the person believes that the other person's bluffing, because this is a mistake a lot of people make when people talk about suicidal people. Like, they think they're bluffing or whatever. Mm-hmm. But this guy, it looks like he's had enough. Bury yourself inside your phantom pain. You ain't really hurt like that. All the way down. See how much pity you'll gain. Wow. I mean, Wow. That didn't blow you away. That's crazy to me that he would say that.
Yeah. 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 When I was reading it, I wasn't looking at it in the way that you're looking at it. I was thinking it was when he said, "Trust me like I trust this news." When he said, "You'll never find out why," I thought that it was the same person that won't find out why is the same person that is sinking and burying themselves in their own phantom pain.
Say it again.
Which I think was what you were saying at the beginning, but I thought you had switched it toward the end. Like a narcissist is not going to be able to understand why the other person is going through what they're going through, because they're so. I assume I haven't done like a lot of research on narcissism, but like I think they're so buried inside their own phantom pain that they can't find out why somebody else is feeling like if you talk to somebody
that could still be it, because this might be a very narcissistic response. You got 3 verses of the person that's suffering, and then 3 verses of the person might be responding. See what I'm saying? The first 3 verses might be the first person talking, and then the second 3 verses might be the response of the narcissist or whatever. Ian said something that is absolutely crazy.
What?
I love Ian to death, but what the fuck, Ian? What do you know about it? All right, here we go.
Okay.
Ian says,
I'm ready for it.
If someone gives you the suicide ultimatum, you should always call the bluff. Never let somebody blackmail you like that, but what if they actually do it? Well, I've had people in my family that actually did it, Ian. I don't know who told you.
Wait, how are you reading what he's saying? He's basically saying...
You should always call the bluff. What does call the bluff mean in the context of a suicide
I thought
ultimatum?
He was saying, because if somebody's saying that they're going to kill themselves, call the bluff. Even if they're lying and they weren't really doing it, do something about it, because what if they actually do it?
No, he says never let someone blackmail you like that is the next line. So call the bluff is go ahead and do it. I'm not going to let you blackmail me.
Then he said, but what if they actually do it? Oh, yeah, I think that's a terrible idea.
That's crazy.
I thought he was saying the opposite.
That's Ian, how many people have killed themselves around you? Look, I think...
You know... Oh,
go ahead.
When I was doing that work at the hospital, that I think about this periodically. So I had gone up. It was a female patient. She was probably, close to my age now, probably in her 40s or whatever. And I first was out in the hallway before I went into the room, and all the professionals, 2 or 3 of them, were standing around, and they were talking about her and her situation, just right outside her door. She couldn't hear them because the door was shut, whatever, and she was not in a good place either at that point. So they were saying how she was just BSing, and it was for attention, and I didn't know anything about the topic really at that point. Very little. And so I was like, okay, I'm hearing from professionals. Great. This is something that I want to know, whatever. And so I was listening to them and I was like, oh, okay, this lady's just doing this for attention, blah, blah, blah. So I went in and I was watching her, just, to make sure she didn't do anything else. But the urgency that I had when I first went up to that floor, because I knew I was going to be caring for her, changed drastically when I heard what they had to say about it. Because I'm like, well, they're the professionals and they're older than me. They must know a lot more about this than I do. And it turned out that she was literally the neighbor to somebody that I knew. And she didn't recognize me, but I was visiting this person and she came over and she had, she didn't, at first I was like, wait, because she was dressed up. She had bright earrings, just a happy outfit on. And she was like happy seeming. And so I was thinking to myself, oh, they were right. She's fine. And it was in not another month or something and a half maybe. And she went through with it and did end her own life. And I was like, oh my gosh, it was so it really messed with me, because I cannot remember exactly, but this would be something that I would not want to remember. But I'm pretty sure that I talked to the neighbor, the one that I knew, and said, yeah, I was kind of saying, the professionals are thinking that, because she already knew that she had been to the hospital for it. And so I had I'm pretty sure I said something about it like that, which then, what if my neighbor would have done something different had I not have passed that information on or whatever? Like, it just was a bad situation. But no, you can never know when if somebody says you've said it before. So if somebody's doing that for attention, like what level does somebody have to be at for them to fake suicide to get attention? Like friggin' give them the attention. And like, what is it? Like, how much does it take out of somebody? Like, yeah, I don't think anybody should mess around with that. And, like, when you live on the other side of those things, like,
Well, you can tell me what the right thing to do is for those situations. How do you know if it's legitimate or blackmail? Well, what I would say is that's not the right question to ask. Whether it's legitimate or blackmail or not is not really the legitimate question. The real question is, to Sori's point, what is driving this person to this point where because there's lots of people who give ultimatums for whatever reason. That's a very, very specific kind of ultimatum. And it's very simple. If you take something like that seriously, you engage with the person. You say, really, this is where you're at? Is this really where you're at? And then you call the police. You get other people involved. Right? You get other people involved. And the psychiatric professionals, because were these psychiatric people or were these just regular hospital people?
They were. Well, how could I know? This was not my floor. I got called up there because they needed.
Was it a psych unit?
No, I don't believe it was a psych unit, but they had the psych people there. That's who the professionals were, I think, outside the door. It wasn't a psych unit because she was in she had like injured herself. So she was in she was in ICU.
So was it the psych people telling you that they were fine?
I couldn't tell you. I really couldn't tell you.
Because there's a big difference between...
Yeah, I really couldn't tell you.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, it was 3 people, and I was new, and I was a CNA, so...
I've never heard a psych-educated person ever say that. I've never heard that.
Then they probably weren't. I know one of them was her nurse.
As a matter of fact, they always say never challenge the person to do that. Never do that.
Yeah.
So what you do is you get professionals involved, right? Because I think your intuition is right. You're not supposed to be led around by a person who can manipulate you, because suicidal people are generally manipulative people. People with psychological issues are generally manipulative people. So, and I'm not saying that about their character. I'm just saying that these are parts of comorbidities of issues, right? So, you never, ever call anybody's bluff on the suicide thing. That's horrible. And the reason I'm saying that is for the sake of the living, not really for the dead. I don't have a lot of pity for people who kill themselves. Just because, the fallout I see with everybody else. But you would never want that on your jacket, Ian, where you were like, I'm going to find out if you were legitimate, if you killed yourself. That's not the way to find out if the person was legitimate. Get help is what you do.
Yeah.
You impose help on them. You're not the psych. And even if you were the psych, you can't be the psych, because I'm assuming you've got the friendship and all that stuff. You get people involved, you get family members involved, you get other people involved, right? And then if they go off and jump off a bridge, you can look yourself in the mirror and say, hey, I got this person, help. I can't. God doesn't want you to carry other people all through life. You do your best and you get those people help. But you definitely never call their bluff. Never do that. And I'm saying that for your sake. If you have the horrible misfortune of running into one of them folks,
A penweb. Well, I guess if I'm ever feeling depressed, I won't talk to Ian about it.
Suicidal folks should let feelings like anger motivate them to live. Ah, Nathan, God bless you. But, I mean, the discussion is fascinating, Wakator, considering this is what art does. It sparks these kinds of conversations. But the song, it seems very intentional to me. Because you've got one, 2, 3 verses of the person saying, I'm going to kill myself. I want the promised land. And then 4, 5, and 6 of the person saying, go for it. Do it. Wow. And I don't think that the artist is saying these are options. This is an optional way of handling this problem. This is a reality of what we live in. There are people that would respond that way. Some out of ignorance and some out of just plain spite. And you know what the fact of the matter is? Caretaking a perpetually depressed person has a corrosive effect on the will, and sometimes the people that caretake that kind of a person resent them. And nobody wants to say this, but it's a fact. There's a lot of resentment, people like that, and sometimes people just like, man, fuck it. Go do it then. I had a family member, and I hit that point, you know. And Ian, that's why I'm telling you, like, don't do that, because they're dead now, right? So I'm gonna carry that with me for the rest of my fucking life. So I don't want that for you, because I think you're a beautiful brother, and all that light is gonna go right out of your eyes if that shit happens to you, if it's somebody you care about. Okay. I'm going to give this one 8.8.
This one was an 8.9 for me.
Okay, so that means you like this song better than the other song.
I did, yeah. Because I gave the other one an 8.2.
Yeah, man, that shit is real. It's real. You know what I'm saying? The resentment of folks in that condition is real. And people are human beings, man. And everybody's got limits. You know what I mean? And with my particular individual, I did do a lot to try to get him help, that's for sure. Mm-hmm. And I did do things materially to help them. I was just in the middle of some shit at the time where I was like, I don't have the emotional resources to deal with this situation. Because I was dealing with a whole other set of situations. And I just didn't have it. Plus, I was legitimately mad at him. You know what I'm saying? So, anyway, rest in peace to the homie. All right, guys. I worked in CDAC for years, and a lot of the job was talking to depressed, terminally ill people. Thankfully, I never had somebody take their life on the job, but they were all going to die anyway. See, that's why I love Ben, because he talks a lot of shit, but he's got a lot of heart. Who volunteers for a job like that? Right? So, that's Benji. Love him. Okay, guys. Anything else to say about the song?
Well,
You look like you got more.
I know this is terrible, but this entire interaction with Ian was just so friggin' funny to me because it was so, dark humor funny.
Yeah.
So then
classic.
here comes Nathan. He says, Ian sucks. I'll never speak to him during an anxiety attack. Ian comes in, he goes, well. But then Dwayne comes and he says, hugs for Ian Kirby. Anyway, so I just thought that the way that those comments were coming out was just funny to me.
He's
says,
got the
well.
most fascinating community on the planet. I swear to God. What is going on?
Anyway,
Shout
yeah.
out to the big homie Ian. We love you, baby.
Yep.
We understand your condition.
Oh no. Okay. So yeah, that's an 8.9 for me. I liked that one. We're going
You
into
said it
song
was an
3.
8.8.
No, I said 8.9.
Now it's up to an 8.9.
Look, I literally wrote it down. If I said 8.8, I meant 8.9 because
All
I
right.
wrote it down.
Allahu Akbar.
8.2 on the song before 8.9 on this one. Okay, so we're going into Leprous-Dare You. We're not even going to do the commercial because we're going to keep this album just moving without
Yeah,
getting it
Ian's
off.
like, I didn't catch the song. So Ian didn't get he did. Boo, 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 boo. Boo, 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 boo.
Okay.
All right, Ian, you're going to catch this song, baby. We're going to dedicate song number 3 to Ian.
Hopefully it's a good one.
Yeah,
Hopefully.
hopefully, like, this guy isn't in hell in the afterlife or some
Oh
shit.
no.
Oh, no.
Oh no. Okay. Leprous, let me get that timestamp. That timestamp is 1:22:09. Okay, and this is Leprous-Dare You. Uh-oh. Sounds like, going by the theme, that it could fit Ian's
So I
comment.
dedicated it to Ian.
Seriously?
I dare you.
All right, right, let's do it. Let's check it out. Leprous-Dare You in this full album review for the Wackator.
Damn, Amy, what the fuck?
Oh, no.
I'm glad you didn't do it. If you did, I'd have fucked you up. All right, here we go. Next song, Dare You. End time. End time. Sounds dark as hell, boy. his ass off, man. Freaking tones, damn it.
Wow, okay.
How do they get those freaking tones, damn it?
The name of that song was Dare You. It was dedicated to Ian.
Okay, so my interpretation of, first of all, Wackator said this wasn't a concept record, but it seems like we're running into three.
I think it seems more themed than like, you know, like a concept record, like it's like a story.
I feel like there's a story though, and I think the story. That's what is interesting because I usually, if there's two people, it's usually a dude versus a girl or whatever, vice versa. And I said, I don't know why I keep saying he.
Yep.
And then it occurred to me. So one of my favorite movies of all time is a movie which name I can't remember.
That was so anticlimactic.
Cloud Atlas.
Oh yeah.
Cloud
that's
Atlas.
Interesting
It's one of my favorite movies. And in I can't explain it because it's too long to explain. That's a hell of a movie night because see, one of these days I just want to spend like 8 hours. I'm probably just going to spend 8 hours and whoever wants to come can come. Cuz I want to watch Cloud Atlas and then just talk about what the hell is going on in this movie because it spans like so much time and things of that nature and there's so many themes in it. I think it would be cool. But in the movie Cloud Atlas, it's not Bruce Willis. Tom Hanks has this character, and then there's this like evil, not clown type character, but I'm gonna say clown type character because I don't have the words, and nobody else can see this clown character. And then when you roll the credits, it turns out that the clown character was also Tom Hanks. And so I was like, oh, because I've watched that movie like 3 or 4 times. I'm like, oh, this is the manifestation of his shadow, right? This is his evil self talking to him, telling him not to trust anybody, which is one of the issues with psychosis is everybody's out to get you, everybody, you know, and telling him to do a bunch of really evil shit. And so now I'm like, I think my original instinct was right. He is talking to a dude. And it's himself. I think that the back and forth is the him trying to deal with his shadow as he's walking into this new phase of his life. Of course, they always say like you take your entire life to write your first record, right? And so he says, feel the chills down your spine. Let me break down your last will to deny. Put your life on the line and surrender your past. Don't ask me why. You must submit to my fatal mind and make it your own. Dare not lie. Come now, don't look behind. Let me see what you've grown. I dare you to die. Let me see that you've grown. I dare you to die. So it looks like this is actually some sort of internal... Help me out, Wackator, if this sounds crazy. It looks like it's some sort of internal dialogue and that there is a... It could be, like you're saying, that there are interdimensional beings who communicate telepathically. But it can also be a manifestation of
yourself.
Himself. You got the angel and the devil on the shoulder or whatever, and this is the devil on the shoulder, essentially encouraging him to off himself, basically.
Yeah, but then you still have to ask him. Even that depiction that you use is a devil and an angel, which would be more of those beings.
Right. I just don't want to limit it to that because there's people that don't believe in that stuff. But you know, I think all of us understand the psychological phenomena
Yeah.
of being a divided person and struggling with, especially us in the mental community, struggling with not trying to kill yourself, and then hearing, but you know, you're divided as a person within yourself, trying to get through the day.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think Dare You is probably that part of him that's like, yeah, man, go do that shit. What were you saying?
Yeah, no, I hear you, because even I scrolled back to song 2 when he says, "My smile within this hollow, trust me like I trust this noose." It does sound more like a conversation with himself. Then over here, "You must submit to my fatal mind and make it your own. I dare not lie." It sounds like, yeah, that this other idea being whatever it is. Because I do think that sometimes it's hard to separate the two, because we're sometimes singularly focused, and so we don't realize that there's so many facets to even ourselves. Like, some things look contradictory because they are, but then you are a contradiction within yourself, like how you feel about something, the way you view something. And so it sounds like he's in this place where there's, you know, the shadow self that he was talking about from the other song before, and the self-pity and stuff like that. Like, maybe it's that, or maybe it's his destructive side, because he says, "Feel the chills down your spine."
Yeah.
And then it goes into, "Let me break it down, your last will to deny." So it sounds like there's something spiritual or supernatural or something that's happening that's sending the chills down his spine, and then it begins to break it down for him. Your last will to deny. Do you think that's him saying, like, this is your last opportunity to deny this? Push it away?
I think he's saying that I think that the whatever that is that's talking to him, saying that he's going to break down his last will to deny.
Oh,
doing
yeah.
it. And so he's pushing him over the edge. Chris Scott says something interesting. When you walk over the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco, there are suicide hotline signs all across it. It's the #1 suicide jump spot in the world. I mean, shit, man. Yeah, that's incredible. That's man. You know, it's such an ironic thing. Like, you've got this crazy landmark, this beautiful wonder of human architecture, and it's like, yeah, let's go there. Like, it's just insane, man. Human beings are crazy. Human beings are absolutely crazy.
I went for just like a regular checkup, and when I was sitting in the office, I'm like, this is so funny, because everybody in here is trying to be professional, but you know that when they're home, they melt down over stuff like we all do. But they're hiding that, right?
Yeah, agree.
And so they've got their scrubs on, and they're professional to hear what's going on with you, so we can make sure everything's good. And I was like, this is so fascinating that we do this. Like, we're all in the same place, but we have people that, you know, try to project a certain amount of, like, I'm okay, and then they tell us how we can be okay. Like, I had, it came into, like, freeze a wart I had on my finger, and legit, the doctor person or whatever looked so disgusted by it, and I was like, this is just a regular person. He's grossed out by my wart. Okay, that makes sense. Mm-hmm. And then I saw, like, the flip side of it, where I was like, this is actually super adorable that human beings came up with this system where they're like, okay, we're gonna pull ourselves together so we can really help the people that need the help right now, because they seem to perhaps be worse off than we are. And so then we create things like, yes, you have the Golden Gate Bridge thing, but you also have a bunch of people that say, you know what, let's just put hotlines all over the place, because we can't stand here indefinitely, but we can put these up and perhaps somebody will call instead of jumping off the side. Or, you know, like when you see, like, there are some pizza companies that put, like, a hotline right on their boxes for if you're kidnapped or trafficked or something like that. So pizza shows up, there's the number in case you can get a phone and whatever. Like, the idea that some people recognize, or
the woman wrote that on her tip on the receipt.
Help me?
Yeah, like, this guy's got me, blah 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 blah, and the pizza guy took it, and he played it perfect, and he saved her life.
That's awesome.
And he didn't even get a tip.
What?
He didn't get a tip.
Yeah. that was his tip, to be able to do something like that and save somebody. What? That's better than a couple of dollars. What?
I mean, I think it'd be good for him to get the couple dollars.
Well,
and
I
save the
agree,
life.
but who was going to pay that tip? The girl that just got saved from being trafficked? She was supposed to come back and throw money? I just think that's impractical.
This was the best guitar. Like, hey, I can play guitar. It was really, really good. They got some really good sounds and tone in that bitch. This is my favorite song of theirs so
me
far.
Too. Me too.
But we haven't hit the halfway point of the record itself. But I really, really enjoyed it. Okay, people are saying they're a progressive band. That's fine, but they're not doing like 18-minute songs of stupidity. They're doing some shit, and there's a lot of like hapax legomenas in there, like when he says that last part in the chorus, like really they're like keeping you off balance the entire time. And I like that about them. And I'll say, okay, that part of them is progressive, okay, but that's as much as I'll give progressive for this. This is not bad progressive. Go ahead. What were you saying?
It's a 9.1 for me. I just think it's funny how, well, at first I was going to, like, comment that every time it's a progressive band that you like, somehow they're, like, not that progressive. They're, like, something else. But then I'm like, well, yeah, that could be your taste in it. So you're like, this, I do feel like that this is not the chaos that you usually feel disconnected with progressive songs.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you. You guys are all trying to pretend that shit is all in my head. Ridiculous. Okay. So that was song. Okay, so the next song is called Fate.
Yeah.
Is it? Is Fate the next song? Okay.
The next song is called Fate.
They're more like Opeth progressive than Dream Theater. I think this band is miles ahead of Opeth, in my opinion. What about The Ocean, Vin?
I actually agree.
The Ocean? Is The Ocean the name of a band? Hey, happy St. Patrick's Day, says Joe Biden. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Okay, guys, here we go. Song number 4 is called Fate.
Yep, let me get that timestamp.
Timestamp is, let's go,
141.
141.10. 141.10.
Yep, got it.
This is Fate by the band Leprous. Let's do this. Wackator in this bitch.
Ooh, that's beautiful.
Disgusting.
Head out to the unknown with sincere dismay. Fear will direct you through the safest way. Never ask a question. Don't reveal a lie. Why should you bother when you can just pass right by? Fate will take care of what to say. suffocate. You know you can trust me. I am fate. Fate will take care of what to say. Fate will lead me to my decay.
Wow.
I
So
definitely
do you think that other
feel-
voice was fate throughout the other things, or
No.
the inevitability? You think this is okay?
No, I'm still going my previous thesis because this fits very well with it, because it's like there was an angry like, just go ahead and kill yourself, and now this is like, hey man, this is fate, bro.
Oh,
But it's still leading you to the same place, because it says, look right there, give up when you're defeated, you'll never win a fight.
right, the will thing at the beginning, right?
Yeah. So it's like the impulse towards self-destruction is still there.
Gosh.
And look, like we at the end of the song, if you go up to the end of song 3.
Yep.
So at the end of song 3, he says, I dare you to die.
Yep.
And then the first sentence in the next song is head out to the unknown.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Yeah.
Head out to the unknown with sincere dismay. Fear will direct you through the safest way. Like,
Uh-oh.
I understand. Like, dude, you don't know where you're going after this happens. And you're afraid. But look, fear will direct you through the safest way. So it's like it's a mind fuck to say, you're afraid, but that's good because it's going to lead you to a safe place wherever you go when you close your eyes for the last time.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
this is sort of the sort of seductive nature, I think, of ending it all type thing, because it was Schopenhauer, I think, was the guy I was talking about yesterday. He was the most depressing philosopher of all time, where he was really dealing with the existential sort of ramification of the inevitability of death.
Yeah.
And so, like, it's just interesting how, like, this initially the voice is like raw, very like
Yeah.
high pitched, very aggressive. I'm not gonna help you. I'm gonna push you over the bridge. And now it's this very sweet, cuddly, you know?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's
I think that's
it's scary.
that's one of the reasons why I guess I love the Bible more and more as I grow or age, is because there are believable lies, and the principles of the Bible prevent you from believing certain lies. I mean, I think every principle that you apply from the Bible will protect you from that. But like when it says fear will direct you through the safest way, like the Bible has a concept of that perfect love casts out fear because fear has torment. And this voice or whatever is being directed through this idea that fear is going to actually protect him, when actually it's the opposite, that love is the greatest thing, and love is what a lot of times people think that like the opposite of fear is actually love. So yeah, I just think that when he says like fear will direct you, like that would be a flag, because you'd say, well, wait a minute. Because on the offset, it kind of sounds like it. Like, yeah, that's true. Like, if you're fearful, you're going to be more watchful about certain things. But then, like, I'm talking about, like, a side situation, not even necessarily this. You're a fearful person, and so you make decisions off of your fear or from your fear, and you don't realize it. But those decisions that you're making actually end up possibly making you hyper vigilant, and so you actually put yourself in a worse situation because you were trying so hard to avoid what you were afraid of. But if you don't make the decisions, like, we've said it before, not to make decisions off of, fear or ego. Well, the fear and the pride one are really the two big ones for me. What is the third one that you always say?
Or guilt.
Or guilt. Oh yeah, that's another good one though. But yeah, so, you know, kind of listening to that, it kind of like, whoa, wait a minute, fear will direct you through the safest way. Never ask a question. Don't reveal a lie. Why should you bother when you can just pass right by? That, like, literally reminded me of the Good Samaritan.
Yeah.
Like, why? Because the story of the Good Samaritan is a guy is beaten up on the side of the road, and he's going to die if nobody stops. And there are, you know, a couple of different people stop by. One of them is a priest. But if you stop to help somebody that's busted up on the side of the road, the robbers could still be there waiting for the next person to stop. So you're putting yourself at risk, and it's not like they had a credit card with them or, you know, a bank account attached to something or whatever. Like, you carried your money on you, and that's what the robbers knew. So everybody's, like, going around this Jewish person that's beat up on the side of the road, and then a Samaritan comes by, which the Samaritans were looked at as, like, just trash in that age by the Jewish people, that, like, one of the ones that was sitting on the side of the road like that. And he stops and he bandages up the guy's wounds, and he brings him over to a spot like a hotel, and he pays for him to stay there and says, I'm going to come back and take care. If he has more of a bill, I'll come take care of it. But that's a risk, you know, when you stop to help someone. And then so when he said, why should you bother when you can just pass right by? Like, it's a legitimate, well, in this thing, what do you think he's talking about? When he's talking about, yeah, because that's what it made me think of, was the Good Samaritan.
I think what he's saying is he's trying to convince the guy not to question himself.
Oh.
Because, like, the aggressive part didn't work, and so now he's trying to finesse him into doing some crazy shit. Mm-hmm. And he's like, don't ask yourself these questions. Don't look in the mirror and ask any questions. Because you're going to reveal a lie. But he's not going to reveal a lie. He's going to try to get to the truth. Uh-huh. But this thing is trying to get him to just accept, you know, go quietly into the dying of the light, as they say.
So when he says, never ask a question, don't reveal a lie, you think that he's actually meaning don't ask any questions that would reveal, like, stick to the story here. So if he comes up with if he reveals a lie, then the lie would be actually shouldn't kill yourself, because this is fate. Well, the lie
is
right?
The lie is presumably you should kill yourself. That's the lie that this voice is trying to promote. And if this guy was to be introspective and really break down the reasons why he should kill himself, it would reveal that he shouldn't. Mm-hmm. And that voice has been lying to him the whole time. He doesn't want that to happen. Why should you bother when you can just pass right by? It's basically like he's almost talking to him like in an out of body, like, don't help this person, which is actually you. Yeah, don't help yourself. Just pass by.
Yeah.
And
weird.
And look, fate
so relevant.
Fate will take care of what you have to say. Fate will lead me to my decay. It's really interesting. So now the guy starts talking, like the guy's sort of liminal consciousness starts talking.
Yep.
And fate betraying my trust. Now watch this. And I don't think that he can make a distinction. It's interesting because in the opening song, he said that life abandoned him or whatever. And I think what he's calling life in the first song and fate in this song is that guy. So that guy is personifying life in the first song.
Yep.
Now he's personifying fate in this song.
Okay, yeah.
And the guy's suspecting, like, yo,
yeah,
you're betraying me. And it says, now watch how brilliant this guy is as a writer. Look, he says, I can't resist it. I must give up when defeated. See, like, so must functions both ways.
Yeah.
Must is it's the guy, the liminal the first guy, like the guy, the star of the protagonist, we'll call him. So the protagonist is saying, I have to resist it, and the antagonist is saying, no, you have to give up. And so that's the push and pull of what's going on in the song. Give up when defeated, you'll never win a fight. Crimson Red will stand out in the crowd where all is white.
Yeah, what do you think he meant by that?
Well, I mean, look at Kurt Cobain. Red is blood.
Yeah.
Right? And this guy, this is their first major rock record, right?
Yeah.
And so it's like, it's the same thing. Like, would Kurt Cobain be known as this giant mythical being if he didn't blow himself away and die at 27. I don't think so. Right? He'd still be known as a great.
Yeah.
But not, I mean, this guy, he's at God level. Kurt Cobain is. And it's the same thing with Selena and a lot of these things. So I think what he's saying is, look, man, if you die, okay, you're really going to stand out in a crowd. If you redden yourself
Oh my gosh.
in a crowd full of white people,
gosh.
you'll stand out. Though nobody bothers if you suffocate, you know you can trust me, I am fate. So
Whoa.
nobody cares about you whether or not you live or die. But if you do die, your legacy is going to explode or you're actually going to stick out. You will stick out. People won't care about you, but you'll stick out. It's crazy because these record labels with these rappers they take out life insurance policies on these rappers.
Yeah.
So that they can, and then if the rapper isn't smart enough to understand, like, hey, I need to buy back my masters. I need to own my masters. Not only do they put out life insurances on these kids, but they also take their masters so that their mothers their family gets nothing, and their mothers and their girlfriends are literally on OnlyFans. Like Duck's mother went to OnlyFans, Vaughn's girlfriend went to OnlyFans. They took pretty much everything from those dudes. Like it was crazy. It's crazy.
That's so sick. What do you mean take back their
masters? So
What does that mean, masters?
It's a Michael Jackson. So in the record industry, like whoever owns the masters
the
really
masters.
makes
Okay.
right. So get all the money.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is very, very interesting because I think it's an internal battle, and I'll say that the guy is the protagonist,
Wow.
the star of the show is the protagonist,
Yeah.
and then this thing is the antagonist, and he's taking on different forms, trying to get him to go somewhere. Wackator, tell me, hear me, Wackator. Now that you look at these lyrics, am I looking too much into it, or is it kind of close? Go ahead.
Did you notice that at the end he said, Fate will take care of what to say, so it sounds like it's still talking. And then he responds back, Fate will lead me to my decay. So it's like he does give in to it.
I agree that, as I said about Cobain, he was great. He was absolutely great. But what I'm saying is he's a mythological creature now because of the way that he went out. Like, that album is still selling every year like crazy. And there's 15 behind the musics about him. Like, I'm not taking anything away from him as far as like but the fact that he went out the way that he went out at 27, which is like the number, you know, I'm pretty sure Jimmy went out at 27. The dude from The Doors, I think, was 27. It's weird. We're in a simulation, but I think that we all can agree that he would not be as mythical of a being if he was like 55 right now, like Dave Grohl. Like, Dave Grohl is also brilliant.
Yeah.
Dave Grohl's written great songs. Right? Like, there's a lot of really great artists out there. Thank God Jonathan didn't do it. I think Jonathan would have been one of those guys.
Yeah, I agree.
So, yeah. I mean, I don't... So yeah, I think that's what that being is trying to tell him. You know, which to Ben's point, like, I think that there are certain... I was listening to somebody talking about, like, the president. They were talking about Trump. And then the guy said, well, so Obama wasn't an egomaniac? And it was like, well, yeah, Obama wasn't. And then somebody else said, in order to take the helm of the most powerful country on the planet, okay, that the planet has ever seen, with the most powerful military in the world, and you say to yourself, yeah, I could do that. Like, you have to be an egomaniac.
I know.
Like, something has to be wrong with you. You see what I'm saying? And so it's like, I don't know if Ben didn't come out and say that, but I don't know if, like, being a rock star, going on stage, performing, I don't know if what we do indicates a certain degree of, you know, what makes you think that people want to hear what you have to say about a particular song and exegeting certain lyrics and whatever. Like, I understand we have our community, that's a different thing. But, like, it's almost like everybody in the entertainment industry, platform, whatever, has to have a certain degree of ego that's uncommon to everybody else. Mm-hmm. And so that being the antagonist is playing off of that and saying, hey, you can be immortalized.
Yeah,
You'll be crimson. If you crimsonize yourself by a bunch of all these white squares, you're going to be... Go ahead.
But don't you think, like, everybody has, like, a version of that? Like, comment sections. Like...
Say again?
I don't usually say anything in comment sections because I have an assumption that nobody cares what I'm going to say about this comment. But there are once in a while where I'll be like, you know what, I'm going to say something about this one. So I do think that, I mean, a lot of people are like, I have to stop and say something about this. So doesn't that mean that we all have a version of that? I'm not saying that I'm, you know, white as the driven snow. My kids were playing Fortnite today and they had, like, there was apparently a lot of YouTubers sometimes end up, if they game it, they end up with it as a skin on there.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, that is the one thing. If there was a Vin and Sori skin, I would love that. So I guess you could put me in that category.
Ridiculous.
You wouldn't think that was funny and fun?
I would be so uncomfortable.
Oh, you would?
I would be so uncomfortable.
I'd buy your skin.
Because then every time I would see your skin, I'd be like, that's probably some dude running around with Sori, just so they could look at her. You know?
Babe.
Or like have some weird, like, psycho, you know, parasocial relationship.
Oh,
with
yeah,
you or
that's
whatever.
weird. I didn't even think of that.
Yeah. That would make me mega uncomfortable, bro. Like, I no. But Ben, you're wrong. The scripture says there's no fear in love, but perfect love casts out fear.
For
And
fear has torment.
The one who fears has not been perfected in love because fear has torment. So Ben, you said you could have fear, you could fear love, and that's not true. A person doesn't fear love; they fear getting hurt. Mm-hmm. And whether or not they go into that relationship based on that fear depends on what is a more powerful force in that person's life. Is fear the more powerful source in the person's life? If so, they're not going to go into the relationship. But if love is the higher source, then they'll be willing to risk the hurt that the fear is trying to warn them against. So, actually, no, Ben, the Bible has brilliant wisdom for you. If you'd only shut the fuck up sometimes and listen. Selah. All right, I'm going to give this one...
Spoken in the most loving way possible.
An 8.6. I didn't see any red flags in that when that phrase was in my head, so I went for it. Shout out to Artistic 1010, who was lurking. Artistic 10 was lurking. He's like, that's right. Fuck Ben Webb.
Oh, man. Yeah, I mean, my thing is there's just so many people that would see this video and they don't understand the type of relationship you have with him. Anyway.
I think anybody who saw the replay of this video, because I'm going to let the chat be in part of the replay.
Oh, good.
They'll see all the crazy things Ben has said. They'll be like...
It all makes sense.
Yeah, it'd be one of those things where it's like, man, fuck that guy, bro. Won't somebody shoot him? Kai in the house.
Yep.
Hey.
They'll look at it like when you were talking to that Nazi or something. Like,
Yeah.
Oh,
Ben is such a wonderful person.
All right, you guys. Leprous.
Wait, we didn't judge the song.
Oh,
I gotta give the song. I gotta give the song. This album keeps getting better.
Yeah.
And the soloing. I wish I could solo like that. The soloing reminded me of cop shows in the 90s. Like those kinds of solos are the solos that you would hear in the 90s cop shows.
Okay.
Yeah. I loved them.
So, what's your rating?
I got to give this one a 9.4.
9.1 for me.
Oh, it finally made it out of the 8s for you. Mashallah.
No, the last song made it out of the 8s.
Oh, you're probably right. I won't disagree with you.
Yeah. Only two songs were in the 8s. All right, so up next we have...
Ben, you never told me what you thought of my solo, bro. What happened to that? Is Amy still around? What's she doing? She take a break? Where'd she go?
There was this thing... No, never mind. I'm not even going to say
Is it a situation?
Oh, no, I didn't see any situations popping off. But I have not been watching that comment section. Okay, so we have the Wackator is our DJ for the night, and he is bringing us through the whole Leprous album. Well, Leprous' album, and the name of the album is Tall Poppy Syndrome. It's a debut album. So anyway, we are doing song number 5, which is He Will Kill Again. Oh my gosh.
2:04:40 is the timestamp. 2:04:40 is the timestamp.
40.
All right, guys, here we go. What's it called?
He Will Kill Again.
Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. All right, He Will Kill Again. Let's do it, guys. Now. Where'd you go? Holy shit. That turned dark. What's with Spectre's band, bro?
To light my way. Notice light past my eye. Senses down, always bleak. Why did you leave me dry? Why did you leave me dry? Die. How could you kill like this? Burning down the lights. Why her smile? Why my life? Speak to me. You have no right. Speak to me. You have no
Ooh. Sounds like Mario. You know when he got the star? sorry. Gotta hear that again. I apologize, Wacky Tor. I do apologize. We have to hear that solo again. I'm sorry.
Do it.
Telling you.
Wow.
Okay.
That-
I'm telling you that last part.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna play this thing. Hopefully everybody can hear it.
Okay.
Okay. Because
Okay.
it's on some shit. I'm telling you. Listen. Can you hear it yet?
No.
Why? What have
Couldn't
you
we
done?
just play it right out loud from my phone if you can't work that?
Just talk to the people.
Okay.
Go ahead.
That was crazy. Okay.
Looks like you like that song.
I did. I really, really like that one. I don't know if this is getting better by each song or if what's happening is I'm getting more acclimated to what I'm expecting to hear. So that's
Okay.
I'm not sure about. I really genuinely really like this song. I just thought the
It
way
seems like
that
you
he-
enjoyed the music more than the singing, which is kind of
No.
rare for you, or no?
No, well both because I did. I enjoyed the music because it was fun. And then the solo I thought was crazy, but I also really liked that vocal style that he did that was like that bad sound, like the bad voice.
The very, very beginning.
Well, he did it at the beginning, but then he did it right before the solo too. So it goes back into that voice, and that voice I thought there's a lot of different sort of variations of, I guess you call that death vocals. But that particular voice just felt like, yeah, that's... Because we're talking about this sort of sinister voice that keeps, you know, presenting itself as fate or aggression, you know, like different ways to get him to kill himself.
Yeah.
So hearing it like this was like, I don't know. Like, well, because it sounds like he actually went through with it. Sight, what a terrible sight. Seeing my own demise. Worms crawl, maggots creeping. God, tell me that I'm sleeping. And that's like exactly what... Like, that's the whole big question mark for me, like, is that what he's describing? Because I think that, you know, whether you take the Catholic view and you say, okay, no, you're automatically in hell, or you take a looser view and you're like, well, you know, God is merciful, but nobody could, you know, you have an answer that you feel you're pretty confident with, but like, could anybody say 100% what happens? We have our ideas that gets pretty close to 100, but, you know, there's always that little burp. So, like, it sounds like he kind of went through that, like, he crossed over that spot, because before he was talking about basically that was his way of getting out of what he was going through here and how terrible this was. But now he's saying, like, God, just let me be sleeping. In other words, I hope that this is just a bad dream that I'm going to wake up from, because this is not what I bargained for when I was on the other side having, you know, fate telling me just, you know, go with it. Or when I was feeling so strong, even though my skin was getting pale. And then he says, I'm holding on in vain. You have killed again. Nursery rhymes of off tune. Nothing can make it right. Letting go without a fight. He will kill again. And, like, sonically, what it sounded like over at that part was, like, off. It was, like, off tune a little bit. Like, it had an off sound to it.
Yeah, you're starting to pick it up. You're starting to pick it up, yeah. For sure.
Did you get your sound?
I did get the sound.
Okay, let's hear it.
But it's 2 minutes long. Let me see here. So this is Super Mario. I couldn't find like the regular Super Mario Brothers, but it's coming. Hold on. You hear it?
Yeah.
It's coming. It's coming. Hold on, guys. Here. You hear it?
Yeah.
See?
Yeah.
Like that was the thing.
Imagine, because you
How old are these guys, Wacky Tour?
Stop it before we get a strike. Mario Brothers.
Yeah, it's true. But they're supposed to be invincible. Hold on. I wish I could fast forward this. This is the only... See, this is when they get beat up. This is where they get beat up, right?
Okay.
And I wish I could fast forward to sing. Wacky Tour, be patient. But I'm telling you, it sounds exactly like it. Just wait till the thing it's gonna show up. Just wait. Chamberlain is like, it sounds nothing like it. Just watch when they get their powers. God, I wish I wouldn't be able to fast forward. Too bad, guys. There's no fast forward here. I don't know what to tell you.
What? Why is there no fast forward?
I have no idea. The album was made in 2009. How old are these guys, though? How old are they? Like, how old are, like their literal ages? How old are they? Because if they're like, if they ever played Mario.
Listen, this is not the way I pictured it, but give me one more chance.
Ew, no.
No.
I don't think they're gonna play it, damn it. I don't think they're gonna play it.
He got the blue mushroom. Eh? I told you I'd get you a pet turtle.
Not bad, mustache.
All right, that's it.
Okay.
But I'm telling you, it sounds exactly like.
Look, here's the year.
See, they're almost 40. That means
Exactly.
they definitely had Super Mario Brothers, at least in their subconscious. There's nobody else that can tell me otherwise. Continue your review. Go ahead.
All right, so I did get a little bit confused. She's supposed to light my way. Now this light blinds my eye.
Yep.
what is that? Like another personification of...
No, I think that there is probably a girl in his life that is supposed to light his way, but he's been listening so much to this dude that he hasn't been able to really, enter into that relationship. I'm assuming we're going to learn about her, in the coming songs or whatnot.
When it says die, how could you kill like this? Burning down all that's right. Why her smile? Why her life? Speak to me, you have no right. See, I'm a little confused.
Maybe the subject was her the whole time.
She's the one that was on the
Yeah.
brink. Oh boy.
Maybe it was her the whole time.
Boy, this keeps taking some turns.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's taking a bunch of turns. Nathan
This is
the
the
Song
thing.
Snob
The way
says
that you break
it
stuff
is
down-
similar. Yeah.
The way you break stuff down, it like, every time you do one, I'm like, oh yeah, that's probably what it is. Then you break down another one, and I'm like, wait a minute, yeah, it might be something else.
How could you kill like this? Burning down all that's right. Why her smile? Why her lie? Speak to me, you have no right. Why did this have to be? No color meets my eye and no tears left to dry. Life was but a terrible lie. Yeah, so she's gone. So the person that was saying, sight, what a terrible sight, seeing my own demise. But the other thing is, maybe that this being, the antagonist, killed his girlfriend, made her kill herself, and is also trying to tempt him to kill himself. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Because these things happen in bundles. But,
unless, again, if it was, well, no, I don't think so. I was going to say, maybe this being that's been personified throughout the whole thing is actually now being personified as a woman. Like that sort of seductive, like it pulls you in, it draws you in. She's supposed to be my light, my way. Because remember, he's in the previous song, that being or thought or whatever was saying, like, for the fear to guide. Mm-hmm. Right? And now they're saying, she's supposed to light my way. Now this light blinds my eye. Senses down, all is bleak. Why do you leave me dry? So it's this, oh, come on, come on, come on. And then once he crosses that line, now you're alone.
Yeah, but she's gone, it looks like.
Well, again, it could be another person, or it could have been, I was just saying, is it possibly the same voice that was telling him follow fear from the previous song? You know what I'm saying?
I think the antagonist took her away from him. The same way that he was trying to convince him to do it to himself.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
See what I'm saying? And so, and it says, it's interesting because it changes the personal pronoun. I'm holding on in vain, you have killed again. Nursery rhymes off to nothing can make it right, letting go without a fight, he will kill again. See, there's the again because he's going after him. Mm-hmm. See what I'm saying? So he went after the girl, now he's going after him. Hold on for a second, I want to replay something on that. You hear that?
Yeah.
All right, now watch, because Wacky Tor guided me to the truth.
Aw, good.
He guided me to the truth, dear listener. All right, so I'm going to take you and put you over here. Come on over. Go ahead, talk to the people.
Well,
I will. You guys will hear this.
Life is but a terrible lie. This is interesting because remember in like the first song or two, he was basically saying he had nothing.
Yeah.
But now we realize he had some girl.
Right. But I don't know if he really thought he had nothing, or if that terrible being, if the antagonist convinced him that he had nothing.
Well, that's my point.
What? Am
Good
I wrong?
job! No!
Am I wrong? That's 8 bits, dear listener. Okay? And
100%.
these guys are around our age.
It's exactly!
Am I wrong?
It's exactly
That's it. It's a different key, but I'm,
Yeah.
Leprous.
We see what you did there.
Leprous.
Maybe it's a shout out to the...
Shout out to No, I just think that was a complete...
stole it?
No. Dwayne's like, not even close. Not even... It's not exactly...
Dwayne.
But it's not... Dwayne's miserable.
He says everything
Dwayne probably
from the Beatles.
Dwayne probably didn't get a Nintendo.
That's what it is.
See what I'm saying? Dwayne's out there catching feelings. He's like, fuck you guys. You guys got to play Mario and shit. Blah, 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 blah. All right.
Jealousy. Yeah.
Jealousy.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I love this song though. The solo was incredible. It was
my gosh.
the best solo I think I've heard this year.
I really, really enjoyed it.
And again, it wasn't like, you know, Ben's like, oh, it's a wankery solo. It was not a wankery solo. Like, it was not like, look at everything that I can do and look at all these sweeps. It was like everything made sense, everything was perfect, and the bends just cut you, just cut you in your soul. And I had to replay it. I'm sorry. That song was insane. Mm-hmm. Dwayne out here playing Sega, being miserable.
Yeah, I mean, that one. Wow, what a crazy story.
All right, what'd you give it?
I actually gave that one a 9.6. That's why I said I don't know if I'm like acclimating to like knowing what to expect and it's kind of like changing things, or if each song is.
Thank you, Artistic. See, Artistic 1010. See, Artistic 1010.
And what did our
sounds
DJ give
the
us?
Same to me exactly.
Oh, 100%.
It is absolutely the Super. It's absolutely the Mario Brothers star thing. Okay, I give this a 9.6 as well. Got to be a 9.6 as well. This band is interesting. I'm just gonna let this play out until we get to the next song.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what's the next song called?
All right.
Yikes, bro.
Okay, hey, I need you to see this. And it's true.
Okay, don't worry about it.
Okay. All right, so what are you asking me to do now?
We're going to the next song. We're going to the next song. And what's the timestamp? Is it 34? We got into this giant debate about the freaking, what do you call it?
Okay, well, no.
Send Johan down there.
That's literally what I just texted.
Okay. Tell him to bring the...
Yeah.
Tell him to bring the popcorn, though.
Are you serious?
Huh? Okay.
He's already... Okay, good.
Okay, he's already on the way?
Yeah, so
Okay,
I'm not
good.
saying anything about popcorn right now.
All right. That's fine.
Okay, so up next on the Wackator stream, we have Leprous, song number 6 on the album, which is called Not Even a Name. Let's check it out.
Not even a name.
Yeah, not even a name.
Hold on, my Mario thing
is playing.
Kind of fucked this up. What's the start time?
Oh, sorry. Start time is 34:20. I'm gonna send you that whole thing right there. Boop.
Yeah, and then what's the end time?
I'm sending it to you.
Okay. All right, guys.
43:06.
34.
Oh,
okay.
I need a timestamp too.
Yeah. I'll get it to you. I promise.
Okay.
I promise. Okay. Put the timestamp at 2 hours and actually leave it. There it is. So it's 34:20. I can't do that again with the Mario thing. But that was insane.
Crazy. Usually, like, I'm like, I don't know, I can't really hear, but that one was really clear.
All right, now we'll do the timestamp. Okay.
Okay. So
the timestamp is 2:29:38. 2:29:38.
Okay, so Leprous, not even a name for the big homie, the Wackator.
The Wacky Tour. Here we go.
Full album review here. Let's go.
Not even a name. Let's do it. Oh shit! Lyrics. my theory. That guitarist, boy. Woo.
Keep building till you reach the sky. Don't look back. Don't slow down. A dream is reappearing. Now is the time to shine. Keep building till you reach the sky. Don't look back. Don't slow down. A dream is reappearing. Now is the time to shine. No one to care for, and free, everyone to blame. No to care for, not even a No one to care for, and free. Everyone to blame, no to care for, not even a Everything inside keep holding back. Don't let it out. Don't let them in.
Here's it again.
Same
The
thing.
previous song, yeah.
Huh?
But it's connecting it to the previous song. right, so that was song number
Song
number 6?
number 6,
Oh,
not
no.
even a name. What happened?
It's only 8 songs on this bitch. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so it seemed like it was more proving your theory, right?
Yeah, I was very, very proud of this song.
Yes, do it. Break
I was
it down,
I was
babe.
extremely proud
Let us hear all
when
about
I saw
it.
this. Well, no, I'm just talking about where he says, a dream is reappearing in inversion. The mind is working against the body. Signals misinterpreted. Language lost.
Yeah.
The mind is working against itself.
Yeah.
How is the mind working against itself? Well, it's telling... Did you tell him to get my popcorn? No, this is the same. Keep building till you reach the sky. Don't look back. Don't slow down. A dream is reappearing. Now is the time to shine. That looks like the first time that we see an actual positive inner self-talk. Keep building till you reach the sky. Don't look back. Don't slow down. A dream is reappearing. Now is the time to shine. So that looks like, because he's starting to get wise to this thing, and the more I listen to it, especially with the song with the previous song with the girl and she died and he will kill again, I'm starting to go along with your theory that it's actually a malevolent sort of interdimensional being who is communicating telepathically and essentially shape-shifting in his psyche to get him to do XYZ. And it looks like, go back to...
This one's probably better. Go here.
No.
Oh,
well.
because it's got all the songs listed one after the other.
Yeah, blah, blah.
Sorry. Thought it was going to be better.
So he's saying, he's talking about something that will last, which is very interesting. Something that'll last forever but never. If you look at the last line of the previous song, it's
Life is but a terrible lie.
Life is but a terrible lie. Something that'll last forever but never. Right? So if you put those two together, it's like all of us are walking around as if we're going to be living forever, when the fact of the matter is everybody's going to die.
Yeah.
Right? But obviously as Christians we believe, but we're going to have life after death, as N.T. Wright would say. So it's really, so he's struggling with this concept that life is a big terrible lie, which, by the way, not Kurt Cobain, but Trent Reznor has a song called Terrible Lie. It's interesting. I was listening to the medic who was trying to help Jamie Smith. Jamie Smith was a ranger that got hit in Mogadishu, and his femoral artery got clipped, and it was horrible. They had to dig into his thigh and all the rest of it, and it was a lot of pain, and he couldn't give him morphine because you can't slow his blood pressure when he's losing all that blood. It was just a horrible situation. And he was talking about how he had to tell this kid this terrible lie that he was going to be okay, because the kid was like, am I going to die? And he's like, no, man, you're good. And the kid starts saying, tell my parents. He's like, shut the fuck up. You're gonna tell your parents yourself. Yada, yada, yada. And, but anyway, but again, that's one of those situations where Schopenhauer would say, okay, fine, let's say he got patched up, bro.
Yeah.
He's still gonna die. Like 20 of them dudes are dead of different reasons since Mogadishu. And, so it's like, oh, man. So here it is, like something that'll last forever but never. I think he's talking about life if you look at the previous song. The let it grow, the hurt from the inside, no one's on your side. There's the negative self-talk again. No one to care for, everyone to blame, no one to care for, not even a name. How did you interpret the not even a name?
Well, I guess, just from when you're reading it here, it would be like, even if you have somebody that you're like, they're not really around, but they've got that, at least that, like, there's a name of somebody. Like, there are some people that it's the saddest thing, but, like, they literally have told me I have nobody. Like, we have people that are not, like, actively helping us or whatever, but that there are certain names that if you call on them to help you, they're going to be there. And so so that's how I took that, is there's not even a name, like literally nobody.
Yeah, but that's not what he's saying.
What's he saying?
He is not saying there's nobody I can call when I need help. He's saying I have nobody to care for. He wants somebody to care for. That's what he's saying.
To care for somebody.
Yeah, he didn't say go in there and get my L-theanine. It's in the back. He's not saying nobody to care for me. He didn't say that.
Yeah, I was going by the hurt from the inside, no one's on your side, so I assumed he was going into, yeah, you're right though.
Yeah, but what he's saying, well, and if you think about it, if the previous person that died, Jazakallah,
Honey, can you pass me a water?
If the previous person that died was his girl,
yeah,
now he's got nobody to care for because she's gone.
Oh man.
Lewis says he's referring to his own name. I don't know, bro. I'm not sure.
Why would he refer to his own name?
It's possible. It's possible. Because if you look down in the next section of words, he's saying, he's talking about himself. A dream is reappearing in inversion. The mind is working against the body. Right? So that goes to your point, Luis. But I think he's saying he wants somebody to care for. Which strikes to something very insightful about the human nature, because whenever you see somebody happy in a relationship, there's always some mutuality. There's always some back and forth. There's always some ability. You know, the only time you have those one-way relationships are in hospitals. That's it. Right? That's the only time where it's a one-way relationship where one person is just caring for the other person, but there's no reciprocity. And nobody wants to be in a hospital. Nobody wants to be in that situation. And it's not even an ego charity case thing. It is...
Yeah.
The caring for a person in this physical world is the outward expression of your ability to love another person. Right? What's up, Rodermond? Yes, this stream will stay up. Look for us. We will be there. Just like, share, comment, and subscribe, and then hit the bell, because then you'll be able to get it when it gets uploaded. But if you think about it, like, what were you saying?
No, I was just clapping at your, like, going to put the bell. Bing, bing, bing.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. It's the outward expression in the physical world of the mutuality of the love that people have for each other. And so it's like nobody to care for, not even a name. It could be that nobody knows his name anymore, or it could be that the girl that he loved died, maybe took her own life, and now he has no name or nobody to take care of. And I think that's something so insightful about human nature. We want people to take care of us, obviously, but we also want to be able to take care of people. We want to be able, we want people to go, damn, I'm glad you're my friend.
Yeah.
Right? And if a person says, I'm glad you're my friend, that means at some level you took care of them. You stood up for them. You stood with them. Whatever it was, you took care of them. And you don't want to hear, damn, I just love that, we had this complete one-way relationship and I took care of you, you never took care of me.
Exactly.
Like, we want the mutuality of doing that.
Yeah.
And I think that's... Anytime people are complaining, they usually complain about, nobody cares about me. And... I very rarely hear that as a complaint, but that is a real... This author, whoever the writer of this music, is a very introspective person. He has he has sat back and thought about a lot of things. But go ahead, what were you saying?
Yeah, well, I mean, the not even a name part, once you were talking about it, also made me think of, like it's been so deep, the entire album. I hate to kind of throw them in this category, but like, like one night stand type of situation and you don't know the person's name. So like he had something significant with that other girl. And then now there's not even to care for, not even a name, because it's in and out, these relationships or whatever it is. And, some people run to sexual, engagements when they're in pain or sexual situations. I mean, it's even biblical where, what was it? Which one was
Isaac.
it? And I can't. Isaac, right? With his.
So Isaac was comforted at the death of his mother.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So, So I don't know. That just is what it made me think of.
Signals missing.
When he says, when he says a dream is reappearing, what dream is he talking about?
Well, and because he says it twice. He says it up here, a dream is reappearing in inversion, the mind is working against the body. And then down here,
The mind is working against itself.
it says, a dream is reappearing, now's the time to shine. So I think the first dream is like a literal actual dream where the antagonist is just showing up and saying, rah, all this horrible stuff, nobody cares about you, you don't have a name, the girl doesn't have a name, you have nobody to take care of. That's a literal dream where the mind is working against the body. And then here, the same line is used, a dream is reappearing, right there.
Yeah.
But in that one, the dream seems to be dream as in I want to be a rock star, dream as in I want to be a musician, because it says now is the time to shine. So that looks like a good, that looks like the good angel on his side who has been pretty quiet for this entire experience so far, and he's telling him pretty close to what I think Artistic is saying, go forward, don't look back. I understand that your girl is gone or whatever happened. I understand this guy's talking all type of shit. But look, your dream is reappearing. Like, you have the ability to go forward and enjoy life and have success, so go do it. And then the voice comes back and says, everything inside, keep holding back. Don't let it out. Don't let them in. Who is them? I would say them would be us.
Oh.
Because he's not going to get to live his dream if he does that.
I thought he was saying don't let them in, as in those voices that have been tormenting him this whole time.
It's possible.
Don't let it out, as in the light, the dream that's reappearing. Don't let that out.
Well, he's
and
saying
don't let
keep
them
holding
in.
back, though.
Everything inside. Keep
He's
holding
saying
back.
he's saying
everything inside. Keep holding back. Like, hold back what's inside. Yeah, it doesn't sound like a positive thing though. To
Yeah.
hold back.
And I don't think he's going to be, hey, Tony, good to see you, baby. I don't think he's going to be able to live his dream if he keeps holding it back, because that's kind of hard to do if you're a musician, especially a rock musician. But that's what we're talking about, like the vulnerability versus just communicating information type thing. And he's just having this battle of going back and forth. So, yeah, I mean, that's crazy. That's crazy. I think we got a lot of help with this. We had Lewis and Artistic helping us out with the interpretation of the song. There are also other lines that express a self-struggle. Yeah. So, good. I like the chuggy part. People are saying this is a weak spot on the record. I think you guys are crazy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, crazy.
I mean, I didn't rate it as high as I did the song before, but it still got a very high rating.
Well, the song before had a ridiculous guitar solo.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, what can you do with that?
Yeah, exactly. This one was a 9.5 for me, and the Wackator, if you can tell us every single time what you rate the song, I would appreciate it, because I like knowing, like, how
That's
far...
true, Wackator. You haven't given the last couple.
Yeah, because he was giving at the beginning, and, like, the beginning one, you gave it a really high score, and I went with a lower one, and mine was closer to his, so I was just curious.
Well, it was the intro to the entire record.
Yeah.
And the entire records were crazy. The intro to the entire record is insane. To me, I think Korn had the greatest introduction in the world. They had Blind. It was Are You Ready? Like, that's the greatest
definitely.
introduction of a band of all time ever. I don't care what Ben Webb says. It's the greatest. Morbid Angel gave it a 1 because there were too many cleans in it. Morbid Angel doesn't like cleans.
Wow, okay.
Miserable bastard.
All right, up next is...
Wait, I didn't rate it.
Oh, sorry. I have plans. Go ahead.
I'm going to give this one a 9.1.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, interesting. All right, you guys. This is DJ the Wackator, and the next song on this album review is called Tall Poppy Syndrome. If I can get that timestamp.
Ben.
Uh-oh, what do you do now?
No. Ben, write down again what the term tall poppy syndrome means. Write down again what tall poppy syndrome means, because I think that's going to be pretty helpful to our understanding of this next song. All right, guys. Tall Poppy Syndrome is next. Tall Poppy Syndrome is next. I am looking for the lyrics. I have them All right, guys, here we go. This is the Wacky Tour. This is Leprous. This is Tall Poppy Syndrome. Let's do this shit.
Oh, what was the timestamp? 2:53.
45. Actually, 35. 2:53:35.
Since the dawn of society, there have reigned a number of commandments one must obey to attain social stability and uniformity. The commandments are, you shall not think that you are something. You shall not think that you are equal to us. You shall not think that you are wiser than us. You shall not fancy yourself as better than us. You shall not think that you know more than us. You shall not think that you are good at anything. You shall not laugh at us. You shall not think that anyone cares about you. You shall not think that you can teach us anything. These norms and values have been used to oppress the free thinkers, making sure that nobody uses their talent to distinguish themselves from their peers.
That was the spoken word version, which has no connection to anything that we've been listening to so far, which is why the Wacky Tour correctly said this isn't necessarily a concept record.
Yep.
Okay, so Ben's version of...
Well, you know, it still could fit. You want to...
Right.
This is how I would still apply it.
Right.
Is that, I mean, anybody that has to live since the dawn of society, there have reigned a number of commandments you must obey to attain social stability and uniformity. And so then it just goes on. So it just kind of seems like you could apply it in that somebody like in his position, if you want, you know, social stability or whatever, like you have to fit within the criteria of what the, you know, the labels or whatever, or society itself is telling you to be or to do. And, you know, like we've seen some of the K-pop females, that's how they ended up leaving this planet, was because all the social pressures. in my misunderstanding what's going
Yeah,
on
but
with this weird look on your face.
There's a specific social pressure, and they're universalizing something that's very parochial.
Okay, let's hear it.
Well, this is not a principle that's true for every society.
No, that's true.
Right? It's definitely almost the opposite of American society. American society idolizes the people that distinguish themselves from us by their talent.
That's true. That's true.
Right? Like we've created billion and in a few years $trillion industries where we celebrate people's ability to outdo other people.
Yeah, I think.
So this is not a universal. The Wackator said something to the effect of, "This sounds like communism to me." This sounds to me like post-Christianity.
I was gonna say it sounds like certain church contexts also.
Well, not really. Like, for example, you shall not think that you're equal to us.
Yeah.
That's not a church. That's not a Christian doctrine.
No, but I'm saying certain ones, like where the leaders are above everybody and don't think that you're equal with them.
Yeah.
That's why I said certain ones.
I think that what's happening here is that you have a post-Christian society that's trying to maintain a form of humility. But because they don't have biblical categories at the meta level, they're coming up with things to try to engender a false humility. So, for example, you shall not think that you're wiser than us. You shall not fancy yourself that you're better than us. They don't have an understanding of how a person can be better without being above.
Yeah.
They don't have an... So, because we have an understanding of image of God, I am the representative of God on the earth. You're the representative of God on the earth. When I hear the talent of this guitarist or this guy hitting certain notes, or there was a dude yesterday, he sounded like a girl, but he was hitting crazy notes, I do not feel inferior in any way, shape, or form. I just say, that's the way he images God. Mm-hmm. Nobody's going to be able to do what that guy does, and I love God for it, and I love him for it. But nobody can do what I can do.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
And so there's no room, if you have that understanding, there's no room for, oh, this person is exceptional at this particular thing, therefore he's above us, we need to cut him down. And so this guy's a virtuoso in guitar, and he's supposed to pretend that he's not. Ridiculous!
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Ridiculous!
Yeah.
But the problem is, since they've taken God out of the equation, but you still want humility in a society, you still want a society that listens to experts and people don't have Dunning-Kruger syndrome, you're going to impose this on people. And so, like, I definitely think, like, the Christianity element has to do with the fact that we know that humility is a good thing. Secularists can't really give us a reason that why humility is a good thing. They just go around and act like humility is a good thing and that arrogant people are bad, but they don't have any, like, structural reason for why that's the case. So I could very well make an evolutionary case for ego and being an egomaniac and beating everybody. I mean, literally, it's survival of the fittest.
Mm-hmm. But you know when they talk about the greater good?
Uh-huh.
But still, that doesn't really... Because I'm saying, like, you could see how humility would benefit the greater good more than... No, well, it depends on, I guess, what the greater good is. What do they mean by when they say the greater
think
good?
About, what is an invention? An invention
Taking an idea
is an idea that gets materialized that's never been thought of before.
Uh-huh.
Okay, that kind of humility is not going to get you inventions, bruh.
Right.
See what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because you think that you can come up with something that nobody else has? Really? See what I'm saying? Or
you shall not think that you are good at anything.
Right. Or like, what the fuck are we talking about here? Or like scientific breakthroughs, like the dudes who won the Nobel Prize in 2022.
Yep.
How dare you believe that you know more than the great Albert Einstein about quantum entanglement? Mm-hmm. Well, they were right, and he was wrong. Mm-hmm. He said that there were hidden variables. No, there were no hidden variables, man. Yeah. You were wrong. So it's like you're not gonna get innovations in science. You're not going to get people challenging science, which is what the entire endeavor is supposed to be about. It's not supposed to be about, this is the fixed science. It's supposed to be about, we have an hypothesis, we have a theory, and we need to come up with every way possible to disprove it. That was like one of my favorite quotes. I think it was Don Hoffman or somebody else. He's like, real science is about taking a hypothesis and a theory and throwing everything in the world at it to disprove it, to disprove your own theory. And then when you can't disprove the thing anymore with the knowledge that you have currently, you say, okay, this is what we're going with, until other people accumulate information that can then poke holes in that, right? And so it's like, how can you get to inventions, scientific endeavors? How do you get a Michael Jordan in that context? How do you get a Mozart in with this ideology? I just think it's I think it's crazy.
Yeah.
Communism is not a classless, stateless, when there's always a ruling class. That's another thing. Like, there's a ruling class in communism who do think that they're better than everybody. So it's like, it's another one of those self-stultifying situations. And I just think, I mean, you shall not laugh at us. I think that there is a place for ridicule in society.
I was gonna say, literally, when I was when it was going through it, I was like, oh my gosh, Vin, you hit almost every single one of these. You're always like on it. You'll be on a stream. You'll be like, what? Ah, what an idea!
That's the stupidest shit I ever heard. No, but look, this is inhuman. The laughter. What we have with laughter, there are times that certain things should be ridiculed. You know, if you're walking around in the Ku Klux Klan and you're putting on, I'm thinking about Conway. Shout out to my nigga Kanye. But you're walking around with the suit. You look away, like kids are gonna point and laugh. I mean, some of them are gonna be scared of you, but our kids will be like, "What the fuck? What are they doing over there?" And like, ridicule in that kind of situation is a non-violent means of rejecting an idea or an ideology. Like, all these things are important and they have their place. Now, I will say ridicule should probably function like crushed red pepper, you know, and used sparingly, right? But like, you cannot cut out all these aspects of the human being. It doesn't even work from an evolutionary perspective. So for me, what I'm seeing is, okay, you guys are post-Christian, but you have these stale leftover mores and morals. But you don't have the theological superstructure over it. So there's no way to metaphysically sort of convince people that this is the right thing to do. So you have to impose it on people. And, you know, when you get that, people get all religious and shit. And these are the things that happen. Like, this is what I would call secular religion. And it's always a zombified version of the truth. Like, there are people that are better than you. I remember listening to a pastor one time, and he had this guy, and the guy was delusional. The guy was like, I'm just as good as you. And the pastor was like, no, you're not. No, you're not. And the guy was like, how can you be so prideful? And the pastor was like, I'm not being prideful. Like, you're not as good as me, man.
It's just...
You're just not. And it's like, yeah, okay. Like, that's... In a Christian worldview, the humility comes in by saying, I am not a better preacher than you because I tried harder. I'm better because God gave me more grace in this particular area because this is my particular role. How about you find your role that only you can do and that you do better than everybody else instead of coveting mine? That's the way that we do it in Christianity, because there's a framework we can operate in, and I can say, like, of course we're equals. And of course I'm better than you at this, because I have a specific way of imaging God. So this is what happens when you take image of God out of the equation. You're going to get people trying to build societies with humility, and then it turns into some weird inked out version of whatever. I'm going to give this one an omega count. Because this isn't really like a song that you jam to and enjoy per se, but he is speaking as a person that is rejecting an oppressive society, and he is questioning their mores, and I think that that's awesome.
Okay, I'm giving this one a 9, and you know, just for the entertainment of the people, I'm gonna let you guys see a parenting conversation. You know, maintenance guy showed up today to fix all that stuff.
Yeah.
2 of our kids, because the guy had an accent, they proceed to laugh at it because they thought it sounded funny.
Wait, the littles?
Yeah.
Oh,
well, obviously it wasn't the teenagers.
Wow, it's not obvious to me.
Oh, yeah, I was like,
Not
what?
obvious to me.
So I sat down and had a conversation with them. I was like, because one of our kids hates when the other one laughs at him. I'm like, you literally hate it when people laugh at you, and yet you did this to this man when he came in to fix our stuff. Anyway.
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with it. What kind of accent was it?
I wasn't here. I think it was...
Did they point and laugh?
Yeah, he knew that they were laughing about it. It was, like, very obvious, like Dennis the Menace.
So he knew.
Yes, he knew. So one of our olders was like, stop, like, what are you...
Fucking shove them in the room.
That's what I thought. I was like, go send them to their beds. So, okay, so they're... now that's the reaction that I expected. I
thought it was when he left and shit. Like, oh, that guy sounded weird.
No.
Was it our 2 oldest?
Of course.
Jesus.
How could the tiniest one have known to do that?
The tiniest one is the worst kid we have of all the kids that we have.
He literally is.
He's not saved, so...
He was like, listen, he's 2, right? I had just finished changing him, and he asked me for something, he wanted to do something, whatever. I said no to him. So he puts his hand up like he wants to smack me. Vin comes over, he holds his hand, he was like, no, you cannot do that to your mother, blah, blah, blah. He just looks at him.
I said, don't ever in your life do that again.
Yeah. He's like real serious, and then Vin walks away. As soon as he sees Vin out of the room, he looked at me, and he was like, don't say that to me.
Bitch ass nigga.
I was like, what?
You should have smacked him right there on bitch ass nigga. That's some whole shit to do. That's not manly.
Know. I feel like he was just like, look, I know I can't get that.
You should have been like, why did you talk that shit when your dad was here, nigga? Let me pull your dad out here and then we have that conversation, nigga.
Oh, man, okay. All right, so
Man, fuck my kids, man. That's terrible.
Man was literally here fixing all of our friggos.
Serving us and shit. Helping us. Keeping us secure.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, no Fortnite tomorrow, bitches. Seriously. Send out the decree.
I'm with it, yeah.
No Fortnite tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm with
Just
it.
learning. Just school. You're going to have school all day.
Yep.
None of this, oh, we're homeschoolers, so you don't only have to do 3 hours. No. You're doing the whole day, and then you're going straight to bed, nigga.
Good night.
Mm-hmm.
Good night.
All right. Last song, guys. Last song.
All right, so the last song of the album for the Wackator is White. Not black, white.
Well, remember, he had talked about Crimson in A Sea of White.
Oh, right.
So I think white has to do with just...
Oh, I thought this was a racist thing. I'm just kidding.
I think white has to do with just complete conformity.
Oh.
That's what I'm going to assume.
Okay, let's check it out.
This is White.
This is like, I need a little table.
By
beside me.
Leprous.
Wow, I'm about to drop this boiling tea on myself.
Let's do 3:16:55.
Got it.
This is White by Leprous. Let's do it.
fiction of violence of worst kind. I wish I knew it well. White did not mean the end when transfixion occurred as the first day. White is all that I see. This is how she came to be. White, white, white is all that I see. White, white, white is all
sing.
Sounded like he said drifting.
In and out, I won't lie.
Drifting in and out, yeah. Wow. Wow. That was a emotional ending. It was sad. Did you find it sad, the ending?
Not at all. It was
Oh.
very triumphant.
What? The
Yeah.
last notes that were played out?
And I finally, I take back what I said, that the
Okay.
previous song was completely disconnected from the record.
Okay. And?
I think this song put everything together for me lyrically. So I agree that there is an antagonist. I also agree that the antagonist had penetrated this dude's mind. But the antagonist is the society itself. And the call to kill yourself is not to kill his body, but to kill himself, his self, his individuality, his expression. So as the antagonist was telling him, kill yourself in all these different forms, it's inevitable, yada, 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 that is that poppy syndrome, whatever crazy thing that's going on in their society where it's saying, don't do this, don't be this, don't be that. And he says it right there when he says, my sight, my means, my faith, my view, I hate myself for trusting you. So he is talking directly to the antagonist, but the antagonist is not like his own himself trying to kill himself or whatever. It's not a disembodied spirit. It is the totality of the society that's trying to get him to fit back into that box. But if he did that, he would be killing his self.
So when the girl that you think died?
I think the girl is his art. And so that's why she died, because at some point, if you conform to that society, then you're not going to have your art anymore.
This is
It's
a lot
okay.
of caffeine in there.
I'm going to take a sip or two.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
two
I
bags,
think
yeah.
I think the girl is his art, and it's like he will kill again, you will kill again. It's the society's killing all the individuality, all of the expression, whatever. Because this is not just a regular metal band. These guys are masters at their craft. He's a ridiculous singer. He's an even more ridiculous writer. The bassist is crazy. The guitarist is insane. And so if they would have went on with this poppy syndrome, whatever, that their society was pushing on them, they would have literally murdered themselves in the sense that the self.
Yeah.
Right? Like, a lot of times when we
makes
talk about
sense.
somebody killing themselves, they're not really killing themselves, actually. They're killing their body. Their self is still around.
Yeah.
Especially in our worldview.
Yeah.
But if you go along with this kind of society, you're actually killing the self. And that's why when you went to, I'm not bagging on communism. I really am not. I don't believe that capitalism is a savior either. But when you went to Latvia, you had a lot of dead-eyed people that had all the joy stripped from them.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just because they took away religion, although he says, my faith.
Yeah, he did.
Now, it could be faith in God, or it could just be faith in himself and faith in his music and faith in all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I actually believe that, yeah, it's a manifesto artistic. I like that. You did say that. You did say that, Ben. I also think when he said my mind is fucking with me, I think what it means is that it's almost impossible, especially if you were born and raised in that context.
Yeah, to be outside of it. Yeah.
How would your mind not fuck? Of course it would penetrate your mind.
Yeah.
And so the previous song is extremely programmatic, and if you think about it, like, that should have been the clue, right? Because it's the title of the record.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, so the antagonist is telling him to kill himself. He doesn't really mean kill yourself. What he means is get back in line with society, get back in line with what we want you to do and who we want you to be, and do that, and everything will be fine. But if you do that, you'll kill yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes the society goes after it aggressively. Other times the society does it in a very sweet, finesse kind of way.
Yep.
But either way, they're trying to get to the same end. And what he says is, there's no contradiction in warfare and worship, which is actually a Christian idea.
Yeah. Go ahead.
But I think what he's saying is, when I go out and play and do this thing, I'm at war with this bullshit ideology.
Yeah.
When we get up there and play, it's an act of worship. Now, as a Christian, obviously, I would love for it to be, it's an act of worship to God, because, but I don't find any evidence in any of the records that he's talking about God directly. Mm-hmm. But it's a form of almost self-worship in the sense of saying, this is who we are, this is what we're about, because the society has deified itself.
Mm-hmm. Right, yeah.
Right? You strip all of that away from a person. Mm-hmm. When society, and here's it's an easy thing to know when a society has deified itself, is when it tries to take from you things that it didn't give you. So, like, society can give you a driver's license, that's fine. Right?
Yep.
But they can't take away your rights.
Mm-hmm.
Because society didn't give you rights. God gave you rights. The people that wrote the Magna Carta literally said they were inspired by God to write it.
Well,
Go ahead.
He said in the previous song, the commandments are, you shall not, you shall not, you shall not, which is...
That's right. That's
the
right.
10 commandments.
And are there 10 of them?
No, I just counted and I recounted. There's 9. I wanted there to be 10.
Well, remember the Catholics took out the graven images thing, so there was 9. So it's a societal form of the 10 commandments previously. So their society has deified it. So the fucking nerve. You got people with all this talent, all these ideas, all these diversified views.
Yeah.
Just in our little community, look at all the diversified views and how, like, fuller we have become as people.
Oh, yeah.
And how, our worldview has so been challenged, but it's also been enriched.
Yeah.
People like Ben, people like... The nerve of a society to actually think that you could do this to a whole group of people. So they're at war with that shit.
Yeah,
and
it
so
was weird.
It's a contradictory form of worship. They're saying, no, we're not doing that. You're not God. You're not our God. You're not going to go and list and give us a bunch of commandments. Mm-hmm. Your 9 or 10 commandments or whatever it is. Maybe they did 9 on purpose. You know what I'm saying? To say you guys aren't really the true God. Norway seems to be a pretty weird place, as Wacky Tour said. Yeah, I agree. I agree. I don't know enough about communism to really speak on it. That's my problem. Mm-hmm. I haven't read Das Kapital in full, but I've read some Marx and things of that nature, and there's a lot of shit I agree with relative to Marx. I just really, really resent that kind of control over the human spirit, because it's a real form of killing the self, and I mean it in the self in the most literal way. Your ego and your goals, your ambitions, your dreams, your experiences, all of that go into yourself, and nobody I mean, we can't even do that with our children. You know, our children have, they have their own, the 2-year-old. They have their own opinions, their own thoughts.
Yeah, this morning you were like, do you think you should sit down? Like, you didn't tell him to sit down.
Yeah, I didn't tell him to sit down, but he was standing up, and I was like, this is a little dangerous.
Yeah, you should probably sit down. He was like, no.
Yeah. Orion would have been like, cool.
Yeah.
Seneca's like, no.
That's all crazy.
But
so
I'm like,
hostile.
But I'm like, I didn't tell him to sit down. I said, you probably might not want to do that. But he's got that spirit in him. No, I'm going to stand up, nigga. Good. And I'm like, okay, well, if you fall, bro, like, cool. Yeah, but, like, that's him. Like, I can't crush that in him. You know what I'm saying? Like, and we made them.
I know.
What kind of... It's so weird to me that a society believes that it can do that to its people.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think White here, and, you know, it's kind of a play on the environment as well because they're in Norway. Mm-hmm. Very snowy type shit. See what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, it was over here. It said that like cultures like Australia apparently or Scandinavia, humility and conformity are heavily valued, and individuals who rise above the norm are often targeted or ostracized.
That's not humility, though. That's
no,
not humility.
That's what they're calling humility because it says
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, a social phenomenon where people are resented, criticized, or cut down for standing out or being successful. It's especially relevant in certain cultures like Australia or Scandinavia. That's wild.
Yeah. But just newsflash, that's not humility.
Right.
That's called lying. This guy is probably one of the best guitarists in Norway. This singer is probably one of the best singers in Norway. Definitely one of the best writers in Norway. It is not humble to say that you're not great. Okay? It's not.
Well, especially like from a Christian understanding of the world, like Vince said, the reason that we have anything at all is because God gifted it to us. And all of us are meant to image him in different ways. And so the strengths and weaknesses that Vin has, his strengths are meant to show what God is like. And then his weaknesses are meant to put him in a place where he's like, yo, I'm not God. I need some extra help here because it's not working. And so everybody is set up that way. So, yeah, I mean, we're supposed to see our strengths. We're not supposed to hide them and be like, no, God gifted me with nothing. I'm worthless. No, you're supposed to be like, no, this is my strength. This is where it's at for me, you know? And I wonder when the world has that deeper understanding that everybody is gifted in a particular way that is going to image the Almighty. And when we have that mindset, how will we do things differently? Like, I've thought of this like so many times. Like, I think of a mall that has a bunch of stores in it. And I think, oh my gosh, if those stores get rid of everything that's in there, get rid of all those material things and put like classrooms in each of them, but not like your traditional ones, actually where they're going to learn different things in, you know, all the different things that we do. There's a music one, there's one on biology, there's one over there that's got, you know, animals, all this different stuff. And so the kids can like go and find what it is that they love and then begin to teach them, because you know what? The teachers are sick of teaching students when they don't want to learn certain topics. It's fun to teach somebody that wants to learn what you're teaching. So if we could just match everybody up better instead of just, you know,
yeah,
like how
exciting.
So
proud. I have the days of the week.
Yeah.
I know the days of the week.
Yep.
Yeah. I agree. I think the album is incredible. I think that they did a very good job stringing us along. Mm-hmm. I was like, what the hell is this? Is this the previous song made no sense to me? And then I'm like, this guy's way too talented to just throw something in there randomly. And then this one right here, like, put everything together. Mm-hmm. So brilliant.
Okay. Well.
So brilliant. So brilliant. This song was a 9.6 for me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, I really, really enjoyed it.
This one was a 9 for me.
Ooh, history is just lies agreed upon.
Yeah.
What did you rate the record as a whole?
9.5.
Yep, I was right there, 9.5 as well. Ben said every song here is a 10 out of 10, and it's a 10 record. I thought this is one of the more brilliant. I would like to talk to Leprous and be like, how close were we?
Yeah.
to getting this down, because they did a really good job of like, this is a 9.6. They did a very, very good job of like stringing us along, making us think we knew what they were talking about, and then boom, here's a fastball.
Right, right.
We were right. There is an antagonist in this record, but it's not his internal voice. It is the society. That
the
has
voice
then
of
leaked
well,
into his mind.
That's really interesting in a lot of ways, because there are certain parenting decisions that both your mother and my parents made because society had something to say about it. But that's like one of the things that like I've noticed, like for instance, I used to do this horrible thing where like if my kid was doing something that I didn't think they should be doing in public, I said loudly that, oh, you're not supposed to be doing that, so that way it would let everybody else know that I am parenting my child. And then I started like, what?
I've never done that.
I started realizing like, this is so ridiculous. What am I doing? I'm embarrassing my kid so these people I don't even know will know that I'm parenting? This is stupid.
Our kids are like, why are you talking so loud? What's wrong with you, mommy? That's what they'd say. They'd say, what's wrong with you?
No, yeah. I'm saying I have done that.
Listen, honestly though, I'll take a time, like, because not a lot of us are parents, but some of us are, man. Don't run your household like a mini Norway. Man, let the kid have his own thought process, his own. First of all, you can't force your religion on the kid. I said something to Reza a couple weeks ago. He came up with this elaborate plan, and it was all a lie. So I sent him to bed early. Then he came out with his hat in hand, and I said, and he had tears in his eyes and shit. Turns out he just didn't want to go to bed early when everybody was out there. And I was having one of my Christian dad moments, and I held him in his hands, and I said, look at me, son. Put your eyes on my eyes, I always say. So at the end of Revelation, it says that liars will have their portion in the lake of fire. And that little boy said to me, fire? I said, yes. It was a very grave and solemn moment. He said, that's ridiculous. He said, that's ridiculous, he says. I said, okay. You should have seen Dorian. Dorian was like, oh, no! Because the first time Dorian heard about Lake of Fire, he was terrified. Man, this boy raised his head. Fire?
Ridiculous.
That's ridiculous, he says to me. I'm like, I'm your father, Nick. What are you doing?
Although, he might have been saying that because you made a contradiction, a lake of fire. So I don't know what actually I wish I...
Right, because we literally live by a lake. Yeah,
right.
But that wasn't it.
So...
That wasn't it. No. He's so secure that God loves him. Anytime something happens out there, he's like, Jesus got this for us.
Yeah, he does.
He cannot fathom Jesus putting him in any sort of
fire. His brother was...
He's like,
his
that
brother
would never
fell
happen.
off his bike, and he ran over there and prayed for him. Oh, it was so cute. Oh, but so Vin does that thing, right, where he's like, put your eyes on my eyes. And now we're going back to the 2-year-old, the one that, like...
The bad one, the unsaved one. Pray for him.
Literally...
He's unsaved.
I mean, he's objectively the cutest one out of everyone. But I asked the kids today, I was like, who's the cutest? The little ones were like, Senny is! Even we know that. Anyway, so I was like, wow, okay. Anyway, so he says, put your eyes on my eyes. And Seneca just goes...
Yeah.
Won't even, like, he just...
Direct opposite.
So, they have their minds they have minds of their own.
They're I mean, what do you want? They're human beings. Like...
And you know what? You're going to stress yourself out if you're going to try to make them be everything that you think. You gotta kind of, like, direct the river, not dam it up.
Going to church with kids from my work soon. Hopefully my pagan ass won't get zapped when I enter it. Stop it, Kai.
Stop that right now.
Stop it. It's your God that be out there zapping people from the fucking sky, bro. To be honest with you.
Yeah, I think...
Our God ain't out here doing that shit.
Yeah, ours was dying on a cross. What?
Yeah, it's your God that's out there zapping niggas out there, bro.
Zapping niggas.
Come and welcome. Come and welcome. This is so inappropriate. Okay. I had to go to a church to vote. I didn't die, but I did have to shower when I got home. That's, Ben, that has nothing to do with church. You skip showers days at a time, bro.
I mean,
your boy Ben was at like day 3. People were like, God bless you, but you smell.
Please
That's what
do
happened.
something. Do something about it.
That's what happened. Trying to blame the church for that. Nah, I know you, Ben. You one of them people. You from Iowa.
Do you want steak or chicken tenders?
Ben doesn't take regular baths.
Gross.
Applejack is like factual because they've been beefing back and forth about communism. I think this is the first time that AJ and
his experience
and Ben
Ben
got into it.
Oh.
Do we have a show tomorrow?
I think so. But let me just double check.
Iowans bathe every day, but just not with water. Exactly my point.
Without water?
This boy showed up ripe as hell out there, boy.
Gross.
He was Ben was ripe as hell. Hey.
No, tomorrow is open if anybody is looking for a stream. So we have...
If you want to stream, tomorrow's open.
Tomorrow, we're already into the 9th. Yeah. So the 9th and the 10th are available for a stream, for a movie, for the beginning of a show series, whatever it is you're interested in. So send us a message and we'll see what we can do.
Wackator, you're a freaking genius, bro. I love the way that you finesse this whole thing. This was a brilliant record, dude. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, this is one of the more intelligent, well-written records. I would love to send this to Leprous and be like, yo, bro, how close were we? I feel pretty confident.
Yep.
That I figured it out, Leprous. Yeah. Great record. Thank you, Wackator, for that, man. This was really good.
Yeah, we very much enjoyed it. Hey, did you rate the album as a whole? Oh, we did, both a 9.5.
I did.
Okay, so I am just going to, how do I do that? Here, I'm going to screenshot this again.
You airdrop it, right?
Well, it was already in your messages, so I'm taking it from you.
Send it to me in Messenger.
Here. Okay, so just so you guys know, there's a post up on Patreon. It's not the pinned post, because the pinned post is what's going on for streams, but there is a post up there, and we're planning on doing a gaming night. If you can just babe, can you throw that thing up there?
Yep. So
we're planning on doing a gaming night. If you're a patron, I'm pretty sure that you can comment underneath this. If you're not a patron and you're under the free category, I don't know whether or not they let you. That's I have no control over what that app does. You might still be able to comment. I don't know. But this is our game night poster, and you'll see this as one of the titles that's on Patreon, and it's put there so you guys can see what's going on, and you guys can let us know if you would like to join the madness.
They
if
go
you're
Ben
into
in
play,
the back.
if you just want to
They go
watch.
Ben in the back with his
I'm
hand up
miserable.
like this.
That
Look
was
at that.
literally, I said, I need Vin and Sori, and put Ben Webb in the back. And look, that's Amy Lee Forever in the front of him. And then
what? The blonde in them glasses?
Yep.
You going to hell.
Why? Well, it was the only female that was in here besides me, but I can't give her my spot. I mean, that's ridiculous. And then who's this miserable one on the side? That's Dwayne, because he's got to go to bed.
Yeah. with his hand, with the Beatles.
Yeah. Anyway, so you can let us know what it is that you want. You know, if you want to pick a game, you can put that in there. And if you see somebody already listed it, don't write it again. Give theirs a thumbs up, because obviously our eyes will be drawn to the one with the most thumbs up. So if you have something you really want to do. Vincent has these horns. I did not tell them to put horns on him. So
bullshit.
I don't know what it says or what it means, but it is what it is.
It says that Sori's still a racist, is what it says to me. That's what it says to me. All right, you beautiful people, we are out of here. Seriously, Wackator. Brilliant, man. Brilliant. Vin out.
Sori out.
Gone. Keep missing the button.